Welcome to HOJO Radio.
For between meal lunching, for quick company treats, for all sorts of delightful menu surprises, serve Pabstet, the delicious golden cheese food that's so good in 100 appetizing ways. Pabstet spreads easily, so you can whip up a marvelous tray of sandwiches in less time than it takes to sit out a hand of bridge. Pabstet slices neatly when chilled, and that's a grand way to serve it with fruit salad or apple pie. And for main dish treats, Pabstet blends ever so smoothly into tempting Welsh rabbits, light fluffy omelets, and cheese-flavored macaroni, egg, and chicken dishes. They're also wonderfully satisfying when you add Pabstet's mellow cheddar cheese flavor. Remember, Pabstet is a fine energy food, wholesome and nourishing. So look for Pabstet in the familiar round, flat package, and always buy Pabstet when you can. Tomorrow, treat the whole family to Pabstet.
And now a radio crime drama that ran on CBS from February 27th, 1949 to August 1st, 1954. Produced and directed by Elliott Lewis, the opening theme of I'll Take Manhattan introduced Detective Danny Clover, played by Larry Thor, a hardened New York cop who worked homicide. From Times Square to Columbus Circle, the gaudiest, the most violent, the lonesomest mile in the world. We present to you Broadway's My Beat.
Broadway's My Beat. From Times Square to Columbus Circle, the gaudiest, the most violent, the lonesomest mile in the world.
Broadway's My Beat, with Larry Thor as Detective Danny Clover.
Broadway, where the measured screaming of the spectaculars echoes into the wilderness of the night, and their cadence is the beat of a metallic and mechanical heart. This is the rhythm of the life you're assigned to on Broadway. There's nothing you can do about it. You challenge it with a whisper or a plea or a cry, and there's no one to hear it, because Broadway's ears are tuned only to the throb of the mechanical heart. It's Broadway, My Beat. It came at noon, a transcript of a phone conversation requesting the extraordinary pleasure of my presence at the apartment of one Dion Hartley, but urgently, but immediately. So I put my presence in a squad car, brought it to the apartment of Dion Hartley, and placed it therein. It was an experience. The apartment seemed to contain everything exquisite that had been fashioned or dreamed by men, all in crystal glass cases, all tagged with little golden medallions, and all ruled over by Dion Hartley, but exquisitely.
This excruciatingly lovely Grecian statuette, Mr. Clover. You want to know what it cost?
No, not particularly.
Of course you do. It cost me my most precious emotions, even a few pennies of my soul, if I had one. A devastating price to pay, Mr. Clover, for a lousy statue.
If you say so.
You're delightful, Mr. Clover. You want to know why I sent for you? Fatally, inevitably, you.
Now I'm here, I might as well know.
For a very simple reason. I am going to be murdered. Don't look at me that way, Mr. Clover. I'm quite serious.
Tell me about it.
Look about you, Mr. Clover. My apartment, my possessions. All these reveal a man. Me. Dion Hartley. Satirist for the magazine Satire. Revealing, no?
Up to a point.
Exactly. Only to a point. You would not know, for example, that I am abysmally weary of all this, that all these are only toys, that I have played with them, caressed them, and quite had my fill of them. Up to here.
So?
So I have gone on to playing with other things, more variable, more thrilling, more impassioned.
You're out of my depth, Mr. Hartley. Like what things?
Like human emotions, to be exact. An exquisite hobby, Mr. Clover. Humans and their emotions. I get my kicks that way.
That's the kind of man Dion Hartley is, huh?
That he has become. Mr. Clover, I have tuned a certain group of people up to such an emotional pitch that they have no recourse but to murder me, either individually or collectively.
These lucky people, who are they?
That's for you to discover, Mr. Clover.
Wait a minute. You tell me you're going to be murdered. You know the people who might murder you. Still, you won't tell me who they are. I'm suddenly part of the hobby, huh, Mr. Hartley?
Exactly. How discerning of you.
But you'd better explain it to me anyway.
It gives me profound pleasure. This is an exquisite game I have created, Mr. Clover. You are now a part of it. I have made these certain people want desperately to kill me. I shall now make you want to stop them from killing me.
And what do you do during all this?
Nothing. Precisely nothing. I have set marvelous passions in motion. It's like a play. And I am dying to know what happened at the final curtain. Does it interest you, policeman? No. I shall make it more interesting. A proposal, my policeman. If I am not murdered and lying in the blood of my death at the end of this week, say, I shall pay off with $50,000 to your favorite charity. Will you save my life, Mr. Clover?
His fingers reached out and lingered on my lapel long enough to capture a piece of lint. Then they fell away. From him it was a gesture, a smirk. But it was something else. It was his way of making terror and pride a single emotion. Dion Hartley wasn't kidding. So it began, the inquiry as to why a man had to die violently. A man who dared me to stop his dying. Dion Hartley. Broadway knew him as a brittle sophisticate who wrote brittle bits for a 6-bit magazine called Satire. I went there to the magazine's offices. They opened doors for me and supplied long cigarettes and short coffees until the editor could see me. Then the editor could see me.
Sit down, please.
Thanks. I'm Danny Clover.
Shake, Danny Clover. I'm Sybil Raynard. I was just wondering that suit you're wearing. I like the way that fits across the shoulders. Who's your tailor?
I bought it off the rack.
Well, that's a twist I never thought of. Now tell me why we're chatting.
Because of Dion Hartley.
You're his friend, I suppose. Then we shouldn't be chatting at all. We should be screaming at each other.
You hate him, huh?
How pulpy. I love him. It's just extraordinary what Dion can do to a person. Now tell me why I'm answering you.
I got an interest in Hartley. He's afraid he might die.
That would make you a doctor who I wouldn't talk to. An insurance agent who I'd have thrown out of here. A policeman who I wouldn't talk to, or...
A friend of Dion's. A good friend.
Oh. You too? Well, you never know. Welcome, Danny Clover.
People want to kill him. What people?
Me. I'd want to kill him. I said I loved him. On odd days of the week, starting with Tuesday, I hate him. You can follow me around and see if I'd kill him.
I could do that.
However, there's Camden.
Yes, there is. The one in New Jersey, you mean?
How pulpy can you get? I mean Camden Drake. Camden the writer. The Greenwich Village Camden. Camden Drake will kill Dion someday. You want to make a wager? I could make you a fine, interesting wager, Danny Clover.
It was weird. It made no sense. A policeman tracking down a crime that hadn't been committed. A crime wanted and willed by a man who knew its shape was his own death by murder, and who had called in a policeman to prevent it, if the policeman could. Any setup as insane as that takes special handling. So I handled it in a special way. Sybil Raynard had given me the cue. She wouldn't talk to a policeman, she said. So I stopped being a policeman. I became just the good friend of the good Dion Hartley, and then Dion's other good friends talked to me. Camden Drake was no exception.
Dion sent you to me?
Yes, Camden. Dion said you and I'd have a lot to talk about.
Dion is never wrong.
You're a writer, he said.
I write.
That must be very interesting, to write.
Most of the time, it stinks.
Huh. Dion said you have great talent. He said you were...
Promising?
Promising.
That's funny. He never told me that.
Oh?
Is that the lot we have to talk about, Mr. Clover?
No, I've heard other things about you.
You have? Like what?
Like if Dion should be killed, murdered would be more exact, it would be you who murdered him.
That makes for interesting talk.
You don't want to know who told me that?
Not especially.
But that kind of talk could get back to Dion. It could even break up your friendship. Doesn't that bother you?
No. And I'll tell you why, Mr. Clover. Because the friendship between Dion and me can't be destroyed by the ugly mouth of Sybil Raynard.
You knew all the time, Camden. What's this, Camden? A manuscript you were working on?
Yes, and put it down.
You won't mind if I glance through it. Dion said...
Put it down, I said. Put it down!
Take it easy, Camden. It's not polite to slap friends. Friends of Dion.
If you read a word of that manuscript, I'll kill you.
It's that good.
It's only for Dion to see. Only for Dion! Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, Camden. But maybe Dion will never get to read it, because he'll be dead. Because maybe you'll kill him before you finish it.
Is that why he sent you here? Because he thought I'd kill him?
Maybe.
Oh, he's so wrong. So wrong. He's got it mixed up, that's all. He should know it's Joan. It can only be Joan.
Joan?
He didn't tell you about her? About Joan York?
No.
Then I'm telling you. Go talk to her, Dion's friend. Ask her why she wants to kill him.
I'll do that, Camden. Where do I find Joan?
In Gramercy Park. 1712 Gramercy Park. Well, it's been a nice talk, Mr. Clover. Promise me you'll never come back.
Yes, who is it?
There was something about her, something like the promise a man makes to himself in some dark part of his life. The promise had the name Joan York. Her dark hair clouded to her shoulders, and her eyes were soft. The planes of her face, her mouth. The promise had the name Joan York.
Who is it, please?
I'm Danny Clover, a friend of yours. Camden Drake said I might speak with you.
Camden? Of course, Mr. Clover. Come in. Sit down, please. How is Camden? Why are you staring, Mr. Clover?
Huh? Oh, he's all right.
Why are you staring?
Was I? I'm sorry.
I don't want to be rude. I was busy.
You were busy. At what?
Illustrating, Mr. Clover. I do that for the magazine, for Sapphire. You wanted to speak with me?
Yes. We were talking, Camden and I, about a man, about Dion Hartley, about Dion's manner of living, his manner of dying. That's when your name's mentioned.
Who are you, Mr. Clover? Another of the charmed circle? A worshipper at the shrine of Hartley? Another of Dion's errand boys?
It's a way of stating it.
Go back to the great Dion, Mr. Clover. Go back and tell him you had your fingertips on my brain and you beguiled me with your charm.
Miss York.
Tell him you did all that and you finally learned that I wished that Dion Hartley were dead. I wished him dead, Mr. Clover. Tell him that.
Why do you hate him so much?
That's a searching question. I hate him because of what he does to people.
To Camden Drake?
To him. To others. But to him. I don't want Camden to disintegrate. To be a friend to Dion Hartley is to sow the seed of your own destruction. But you know that already.
I know.
And you know the disenchantment that Hartley causes. Hartley sneers at the world and passes it on to all who touch him. That's death to a talent like Camden's.
And you'd wish Hartley dead for that?
I've already told you that, Mr. Clover. Take it back to your Mr. Hartley. Sit by his feet and look up at him, adoring, and tell him I said so. You'd better go now, Mr. Clover.
Can I talk to you now, Danny? Oh, Danny, you've been sitting here for 2 hours now. Your face looks like it's all thumbs, Danny.
You want something, Tartaglia?
Oh, you got a problem? Well, I am ready to receive it, Danny, and give you my utmost opinion on it.
Try this. A man says he's going to be murdered and makes a game out of it. And 3 people in their own way have a motive for killing him. An editor, a writer, and
what, Danny?
You never saw such a girl, Tartaglia.
Hey, it ain't spring yet, Danny.
Danny Clover speaking.
This is Dion Hartley, Mr. Clover. Your charity has lost.
What's the matter with you?
You've lost the game, Mr. Clover.
Mr. Hartley.
Don't Juicy. I've been murdered.
Broadway's a street that'll give you anything you want, any way you want it. All you have to do is set your mind to it and be looking in the right direction at the right time. If you look one way, Broadway's liable to wink at you and nod its head. But look another way, you're liable to get a newspaper shoved in your face. That's so you'll see the headline up close. Dion Hartley shot to death. Then you keep on investing in later editions to find out what juicy set of circumstances made Dion Hartley a murder victim. It was my job to gouge out the facts. At headquarters, Sergeant Gino Tartaglia summed it up tersely.
Oh, we got a murder mystery on our hands, Danny.
You think so, huh?
Yeah. And you would have nothing to worry about if you was just frisbeeing about me.
Look, Tartaglia, I've got troubles enough.
Huh? Well, what troubles?
I haven't done this for a long time, Tartaglia. Passed myself off as something I'm not.
Well, that is the duty of a plainclothes detective, Danny.
Yeah, but I don't like the circumstances. This one time, I feel like I'm lying by not telling people I'm an officer. It's a feeling I don't care for.
But, Danny, like I said, this is your duty. I don't understand, Danny. What people in particular do you feel like you're lying to?
To a murderess, maybe. A girl named Joan York.
Huh?
Sounds funny, huh?
Danny, you shouldn't let certain things blind you to other certain things.
Sure. I'll wait till I'm a little older, huh? I guess it's like this. I've just got a strange idea Joan York's got the best reason for killing Hartley. I hate the idea. I'll see you, Tartaglia. I'm going someplace where I can get the whole thing out of my mind. Joan.
What is it? What do you want, Mr. Clover?
I wanted to talk to someone whose wish came true.
Mine came true. Dion is dead. Is that what you mean?
That's part of it.
And the rest? Tell me the rest, Mr. Clover.
May I come in, Joan?
I want you to.
That music, it's...
Lovely. Haunting. For you. Is it like that for you, Mr. Clover?
Like that. But more like... Where's it coming from?
The man in the apartment across the air shaft. He's a student. He plays like that 4 hours a day.
4 hours?
To the minute. We can't let it stop us, can we? We have to talk about Dion's murder, you and I.
Why do you say that?
Because that's why you came here to me. Because you were Dion's friend. And because you were Dion's friend, you want to know if I killed him.
There could be another reason. Joan, listen to me.
Why do you do that, Mr. Clover?
Was I doing something?
You're different today. The way you say my name, it's gentle. Makes me want to run to you, like a child.
I didn't mean...
No. Please don't be embarrassed. It's me. It's the way I talk. Words have no meaning unless they say what you mean.
That makes it easier. You were right, Joan. I want to know if you killed Dion Hartley. I have to know. I have to. Listen to me, Joan. You wanted him dead. You had a motive. At least the police would call it motive.
I hated Dion for destroying people I've loved. Is that motive for killing a man?
Yes.
A good one, don't you think, Mr. Clover?
You tell me, Joan.
I'll tell you. But not now. Not now.
When?
Later. Take me to dinner, Mr. Clover. The Casca. It's a little restaurant with music. Just down the street. 8 o'clock. Is that all right for you? 9 o'clock?
I'll be there, Joan.
Thank you, Mr. Clover. You're late, Mr. Clover. I was beginning to be afraid you wouldn't come.
I'm sorry. I had some things to take care
It
of.
doesn't matter. You're here.
Hungry?
Only to talk to someone. You. Are you hungry?
No.
Then we can just sit and talk. I've been thinking, Danny.
What? What were you thinking?
But we're very much alike, you and I.
How, Joan?
There's a kind of terrible loneliness in you. I know it. No, don't stop me. I know it's a loneliness. Because you couldn't understand so well all that's empty and lost and frightened in other people. I know nothing about you, Danny. How did you get so far along so fast?
You're frightened, aren't you, Joan?
No, not that. It's not the right word. Released. Free. Lonely. Are those the words?
It depends.
On what I may have done with my life? Or someone else's life?
On that.
Will you dance with me, Danny?
I want to.
Could you kill Danny?
What?
A man like Dion Hartley. Could you have killed him?
I don't know.
I think you could have. A man like that. Did you? Somewhere, somehow, he must have given you motive, too.
No, I didn't kill him, Joan.
I know you didn't. I just wanted you to consider it for a moment. The thought of killing Dion. It didn't revolt you, did it? Dance with me, Danny. Dance with me.
Well, if it isn't Joan, girl. Please. I like that when you say please to me, Joan. It's like the old golden days before Dion Hartley.
Whatever it is, take it somewhere else, Captain.
That cut it, didn't it, Joan? That shining thing we had, you and I. Dion loused it, didn't he? Didn't he, Joan?
Yes. He made it rotten. He made it filthy. He made me want no part of you or of him.
So you killed him, huh? You killed him! You killed the best thing that ever happened to me! You killed him!
Take it easy, Captain. Take it easy. The people are...
Take your hands off me! Take them off!
Easy, kid, easy.
I told you! Maybe now you'll believe me.
Yeah, that's twice now, Captain. I owe you something.
Here, you two. Break it up. What do you two bums want, all right?
What's the matter, officer? You want something, officer? Keep away from me.
What?
I said keep away.
Okay, but it shall be as you wish. Are you coming quiet, or do I use this stick on you? All right, that's better. Come on.
Thanks, Patrolman Meshikoff. You did great.
Look, I'm only a stupid ox, Danny, but I don't get it. You, I should arrest.
Yeah, exactly that. I didn't want those people to know I was a cop.
Oh.
I want this to look legitimate. Call me a paddy wagon officer. I want to go to jail.
Hey, Danny, wait for me.
What is it, Tartaglia?
Well, word has it you got tangled up last night, Danny. Barroom brawl with a guy named Camden Drake.
So?
Well, I was just talking to Demchuk, the ambulance driver. He just brought in Camden Drake.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Danny. Shot. They found him in an alley off Bank Street in the village.
I only kidded myself for a couple of hours longer. I told myself maybe Sybil Raynard, the editor of Satire. I told myself that and had her checked and found out she'd flown to Florida immediately after my interview with her and had been confined to her room with the flu since she got off the plane. Airtight. Then I stopped kidding myself. I set everything up with headquarters and walked to where I had to go. And all the way there, the streets were gutters. And where I walked, people looked away.
Danny. Come in, Danny. So early, Danny. It's hardly noon.
You mind, Joan?
Oh, you know I don't. Sit down.
All right. Joan.
Wait a minute, Danny. I'll fix some coffee.
No, don't.
No?
Joan, after I was arrested last night...
I went right home. Is that what you were going to ask?
Yes. Camden Drake's dead, Joan. He was shot dead.
I don't believe you.
He's dead.
But who?
Doesn't matter much, does it, Joan? Does it?
Look, Danny, I'll get... Wait, the door. Yes?
Hiya, baby. Hiya, Johnny. Johnny, baby. Say hello, Johnny, baby. Come here.
Danny!
Take your hand off me.
Hey, who is this? Who is this guy?
Outside. I said outside.
What are you...
Danny! Danny, he's got a gun!
Yeah.
Danny! Danny, what did you do?
Don't worry about it, Joan. I'll get him out of here.
But you just... He's dead, isn't he?
Get away from him, Joan. You don't have to look at him. Look, listen to me. I'll get him out of here. This doesn't have to concern you at all. You understand that, don't you?
Will you go, Danny?
I've got some money. Europe, maybe. I don't know.
Take me with you.
What?
Take me, Danny.
I just killed a man, Joan. You don't deserve to share that.
Danny?
You just stay here. I'll get rid of him.
Danny, I killed Leon Hartley. Don't stare at me, Danny. Yes, I killed him. I think you knew that, didn't you, Danny? Now you know. Now it makes everything all right. You can take me with you, Danny. Both of us.
Joan.
Yes, and Camden Drake, too. I killed him, Danny. Now you can take me, Danny. Now we've got two awful secrets we can share. It's better.
Why? Why did you do it, Joan?
I had to. I thought I was in love. In love with Camden. Dion was squeezing Camden's soul. I killed him.
And the boy?
It was easy. You heard Camden. He didn't want me. Camden knew what I'd done and said he was going to the police. It didn't matter after that. After you...
Didn't you know, Joan?
No. Knew what?
I'm a policeman, Joan.
Danny.
Get up, Markovan. You can get up now.
Yeah. Okay, Danny.
Danny! Danny, no! No! Danny, you! No!
Hi, Danny. Nice morning, huh, Danny? I'm glad we went out and get you some coffee, if you'd like some coffee. Oh, Danny. Danny? These things. Sorry, Danny.
It stretches out in front of you, this mirage called Broadway. This street that offers you dreams, then laughs in your face. Its crowd and cruelty, its sound and sorrow, its fury and a teardrop. It's Broadway, the gaudiest, the most violent, the lonesomest mile in the world. Broadway, my beat.
Broadway's My Beat stars Larry Thor as Detective Danny Clover with Charles Calvert as Tartaglia. The program was produced and directed by Elliott Lewis. The musical score was composed and conducted by Alexander Courage. The cast tonight included Ann Stone, Virginia Gregg, Elliott Reed, Ted Osborne, Bert Holland, and Jack Crucian.
Pepsi-Cola, it's the spot, 12 full ounces, that's a lot, twice as much for a nickel too. Pepsi-Cola is the drink for you. Nickel, 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 trickle, 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 nickel, 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 nickel.
HOJO Radio, we're your old-time radio headquarters. Stay tuned.
Broadway's My Beat. From Times Square to Columbus Circle, the gaudiest, the most violent, the lonesomest mile in the world. Broadway's My Beat, with Larry Thor as Detective Danny Clover. Broadway, it's an enchanted island or a prison cut off from the rest of the world. It all depends upon the mood you're in. The certain sounds that dart from doorways, call them fury or make yourself believe they're promises dimly heard. Or calm yourself that the stare that just trailed by you had nothing to do with hunger. You can kid yourself on Broadway because that's what it's here for. It's Broadway, my beat. To a policeman, a telephone is an instrument of mayhem. It carries the after images of violent death with the speed of sound. The telephone told me there'd been a murder. It told me just now. It told me where. It told me to climb 6 flights of steps at the Ramsey apartment, and I'd find death waiting for me in an elevator near the head of the stairs.
Right over here, Danny.
Hi, Muggavan.
In here, in the elevator. There he is, Danny, on the floor.
Who is he?
No identification. Person unknown, shot to death by person unknown. Whereabouts of the shooting is a moot point.
This man's too well dressed to go around without a wallet or some kind of identification.
Maybe he was heisted.
Who are you?
The elevator man? Yeah, Danny, he runs the elevator. He called in the precinct. I got the call.
Maybe the guy's wallet was heisted. Robbery, huh? With a deadly weapon.
You?
Funny man.
What's your name, elevator man?
Eddie Amboy, 1212 E54. You walk up 2, turn right, turn left, then walk up a half till there's nothing but a door. Eddie Amboy, my place.
Okay, Eddie. Tell me about it.
About what?
Book him, Muggavan. I'm tired.
Oh, about the guy here? I already did that. Ask this Muggavan here. I did the story to him.
Mr. Clover's tired. Do the story again.
Yeah. The guy pushes a buzz on the first floor.
Where were you?
In the sub-basement. Little things wrong with this elevator. I was fixing it. I'm conscientious.
Go ahead.
The guy buzzes. I bring the car up. I open the door. This guy gets in. He's holding his tummy like it aches him. He says, 6th floor, please. I close the door. I turn the handle. You're right. Now comes the 6th floor. We stop. I open the door. I look around. The guy's on the floor, dead. Tummy ache turns out to be caused by bullets.
The story he told you, Muggavan?
The same.
If it gets too complicated, I'll be glad to do it again. Start all over from the sub-basement.
You did good.
Thanks. Can I have my elevator back now?
It's not yours anymore, kid. When a man gets murdered on an elevator, the elevator suddenly belongs to the world. A man's dying takes many shapes, occurs in many places. It's rare that he has a choice. But the unknown, unnamed man whose face was now gaunt against the pressure of his cheekbones, whose eyes held no reflection of the light shining into them, seemed to have made one. He chose not to die on the street, but to crawl within the metal walls of an elevator, and to plain the prosaic words, the dying words on his lips. He must have chosen too, because for him they had meaning. It was my job to find out their meaning. At headquarters, we put tracers out on the murdered man. Who was he? If we knew that, maybe we'd know why he had to die. And in the morning, I went back to the 6th floor he'd wanted. I had Muggavan's list of the tenants in the 3 apartments on that floor. I rang the first bell on the list.
What do you want?
Dear Miss Conrad?
What do you want?
I'm from the police.
Who is it,
I want...
Martha? Who is it?
Don't you think you'd better tell her?
Martha, how dare you not answer me? Who is it? And don't tell me it's no one because I heard you whispering. Who is it, Martha? It's the police. Oh, how wonderful, the police. But isn't that the end? Show them in, Martha. No, wait, darling. First I want to paint my face.
Come in.
But
It's all right. You've already done his face. Come in. Down this hole, please.
No. So don't come any closer. I want you both to stand right where you are. Especially you, policeman.
Dear Miss Conrad?
Mary Conrad. You may call me Mary, because Mary's a grand old name. Martha.
Yes?
Martha, get the policeman and me something. A libation, a morning martini, anything the policeman wants.
Don't go away, Martha.
You afraid to be left alone with me, policeman?
Miss Conrad, a man was murdered in this building last night.
Murder? In this building? That's the end. Martha, did you hear what the beautiful man said?
He got in the elevator and asked for the 6th floor. Was it you he wanted to see, Miss Conrad?
The policeman must want a drink.
Oh, no, he wants to.
Do as I say, Martha. Don't be angry with me, darling. Just always do as I say. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, the murdered man. Who was he?
We don't know, but I have a picture.
A picture? How wonderful. Gimme.
Here.
Very distinguished. So dead. So horribly dead.
Do you know him?
Would it make it easier for you if I did, policeman?
Do you know him, Miss Conrad?
I'm sorry, dreadfully sorry. We don't know this man, do we, Martha? Do we? No. No, we don't know him.
Where were you last night, Miss Conrad?
I was here. All day. All evening, all night. I didn't go out once. Did I, Martha? No.
The commotion in the hall when the man was found. It didn't wake you?
Did it wake me, Martha? No, you slept very soundly.
You sleep in the same room with Miss Conrad, Martha?
Policeman, you talk to Martha as if she were a servant.
That's not...
Dreadful. Of course Martha's not a servant. She's my sister. Isn't she, the end?
Maybe I said something after that. I don't remember. What I do remember is waving my jaw a few times and trying to smile and give the impression of course she's your sister. What else? Then I left. The apartment door across the hall had a nameplate that said Jonathan Quill and was equipped with a door knocker, a brass dragon sticking his tongue out at me. I lifted him up and pushed his face against the door. And then it happened. The door swung open. I stepped inside. How was I to know I was standing in the middle of a train crossing?
Jump over it, boy. Jump over it. You want to get hit by a train? Oh, yeah. You sure had a narrow key now, didn't you? So they're taking off a toe.
Yeah. Hey, what goes on?
Look at her go. Oh, an exact replica of the Super Chief. And almost as fast. Oh, I always wanted to be a brakeman, boy. Became a millionaire instead. What did you want to become?
A millionaire. I got to be a policeman instead.
Glad you did. Never had a policeman watch the train. Never thought about asking one.
Well, now that you're delighted, Mr. Quill, I hope I won't do anything to break up your fun. I'm a policeman come to see about a murder.
Murder? Where do I throw the switch, boy? Where do I throw the switch? Where do I throw it? See a murder? You mean the one down the hall? The elevator murder? I didn't do it, and I'll prove it to you.
Mr. Quill.
You bet I'll prove it to you. You want an alibi, don't you? That's why you came here. I know about policemen. You want alibis. Harold! Harold!
Yes?
Come in here. Harold, that's a policeman. You know what to do, Harold. Right over there. That's a policeman right there.
Hello. My name's Harold Blake, Jonathan's partner. Danny Clover. You seem to have gotten Jonathan excited. Jonathan gets excited.
Tell him, Harold. Tell him. You know what to do now.
Well, ever since the elevator boy was in here last night... Eddie boy? He didn't say anything about that. I didn't know he came in the apartment. Well, he reported the murder from here. You mean he used your phone to call the police? Yes, that's right, to call the police. I was here visiting with Jonathan. I live in the next apartment, you see. I see. Pretty late for visiting, wasn't it? By some standards.
By some standards?
Frankly, Mr. Clover, and you've probably never gotten an alibi like this in your life. We wanted to watch the trains on what we call the milk run. That's our alibi.
Tell him what else, Harold.
Oh, I don't think that's... Go ahead, tell me what else. It's about the elevator operator, about Eddie. Jonathan thinks Eddie is the murderer.
That's what I think.
Oh? Why?
Because Eddie is mean and spiteful and tried every which way to make an honest dollar. He's the type that murders other types.
What else?
Needn't be anything else. Eddie is the killer. $1 million.
You see how it is, Mr. Clover? No, I don't see. But I'm going to try. Where there's peace, gentlemen, and quiet. Away from trains, gentlemen.
Hey, Danny, you in the mood for heap big powwow?
Huh? Say that again, Tartaglia.
Powwow, that's Indian talk, a throwback.
Try me once more, Tartaglia.
Well, a throwback to last night. Every night I play Cowboys Indians with Mrs. Tartaglia and my 6 boys. Yeah, and I am always an Indian. Hey, you should see my teepee, Danny. Surface only blanket.
There must be a string of beads around here somewhere, Tartaglia. Go play someplace else.
Danny, please, be serious. We got work to do.
Oh. Well, who makes medicine first, you or me?
Huh? Oh, me, Danny, me. Now, this is a very grave matter. The technical boys say the signal system on the elevator where deceased unknown was found murdered. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
They say said signal system was disconnected when they went over it. So what makes the mystery into a big pile is that somewhere there is a discrepancy.
Like what?
Like a discrepancy in time. Detective Muggavan received the murder call at his precinct at 2:55 in the a.m. He noted it down. So Dr. Sinsky says after examination of said unknown deceased, that said unknown deceased was deceased for at least 2 hours when found, which would place the time of his murder, considering the here and there of police routine, at about 1 in the morning, not at 2:55 as was called in by the elevator operator. Now, this means the boy cut off the signal system. He should not be disturbed. Danny, I ain't finished. I can't never get a word out edgewise. Danny!
The doorman told me I'd find you here, Eddie.
Oh, well, it's a hard detective, huh? Where else would you find this elevator boy? Bloodhound. I'll answer that. In the sub-basement, fixing this stinking elevator.
Last night, Eddie. Did you have to fix the elevator before you called the police?
That's a very interesting question, because I can't figure out what it means. Very mystical.
I'll explain it to you, elevator boy.
Now go back, Bloodhound. You come under here with me, you might get your throat caught in a steel cable or something. Under here is for experts.
From here, then. The call you made to the police, Eddie. How come it was almost an hour late? That's a long time, an hour.
Hey, you're good. You boys are real good to find out a thing like that.
We got experts, too, Eddie. So maybe you better put your elevator away someplace and come out here and talk to me. Expert to expert.
Yeah, I'll do that. One more tap in its tummy. Hey, who's that? Eddie, get out! Get out! I can't! My foot is caught! Help!
No.
You are listening to Broadway's My Beat, written by Morton Fine and David Beacon, and starring Larry Thor as Detective Danny Clover.
Broadway is a place that mourns the dead only in passing. The cold whisper of death winds its way through the neon chasm, and Broadway notes it, shudders, and huddles in on itself. To the murder of an anonymous man in an elevator, to the crushing out of another man's life by that same elevator, Broadway reacted true to form. It read the headlines, shrugged, and slipped them neatly into the nearest trash can. But at headquarters, it isn't that easy. Even Sergeant Tartaglia didn't think so.
It ain't easy, Danny. 20 years into business, and it still ain't easy.
What isn't, Tartaglia?
To be in a business where the product is dead bodies, where the clients are murderers. I've often come into Dutchley to Mrs. Tartaglia.
Does she comfort you then, Tartaglia?
Like an angel. She goes to the mix master, beats up a recipe, presents me with a confection. I happen to have one here now, Danny. Homemade halva. Here, have a piece. Go on.
Thanks. Good. Okay, Tartaglia, brief me.
Oh, good halva. The heart, like chewing in a dream, huh, Danny?
My compliments to the missus. Brief me, Tartaglia.
Yeah. Well, Adam, the unknown man found dead in the elevator of the first part is still, to all intents and purposes, unknown.
Yeah, but you'll keep after it, Tartaglia.
Oh, like an old hound dog. Item, the death of the elevator operator, Eddie Amboy. The boys in technical concur with your opinion that he was indubitably murdered.
Well, it's generous of them.
Yeah, they thought so. They said the hacksaw you found on the roof of the apartment building, plus the evidence that the elevator cable had been sawed through, this made it murder.
What else, Tartaglia?
Well, we have checked on the background of Eddie Amboy. Found he ran an elevator, and in his room had a wife, Mrs. Eddie Amboy.
She there now?
Oh, yeah, Danny, yeah. The boys are leaving now, keeping tabs on her.
Tartaglia, give me the rest of that halva. I may need it for comfort.
Yeah?
Mrs. Amboy?
Who are you?
I'm from the police, Danny Clover.
Well?
May I come in?
You're from the police. You want to see me about what?
About Eddie, about your husband.
He's dead. You're late. You should have come months ago. Eddie's dead. Last night he got married to an elevator.
Eddie was murdered, Mrs. Amboy.
You'd want to take the trouble. Oh, come on in. Sit over there if you want to.
Thanks. You said I should have come months ago. Why?
Could have arrested him. Could have had him sentenced for every little petty crime he committed. I added it up one night. Come to 157 years.
That way, huh?
This way, Mr. Clover. I could have visited him in jail, brought him pineapple upside-down cake. He liked pineapple upside-down cake. It's a dream I had. To watch him eating pineapple upside-down cake behind bars.
You sound bitter enough to want to kill him.
And wreck that dream I told you about? Myself?
It was Eddie's apartment.
You were around when Eddie was killed?
Still doubt me, Mr. Clover. Don't doubt me. I've been on vacation, mister. To Washington, the District of Columbia, to our nation's capital. 2-day all-expense tour by bus to gawk at the White House, Lincoln's Memorial. Eddie sent me away. He had a girl.
When did you get back, Mrs. Amboy?
This morning. Time to read the papers. And time to know that Eddie was dead. Time to come back here and sniff perfume I never had. Another woman.
We'll check then. About the trip to Washington, I mean.
Yeah, sure. You know what I was just thinking, Mr. Clover?
What?
6 years. I get my first 2-day vacation in 6 years and becomes a matter for the police. How long will it be before Eddie leaves me alone? You've seen women like me before, mister. Help me out. How long will it be?
We'll just check about a bus trip. No longer than that.
Wait a minute. Don't go yet, Mr. Clover. I got it right here. Here. Take this wallet.
What about it?
Before I burned Eddie's clothes this morning, I went through him. Maybe he left me $5 insurance money. I found his wallet. Eddie never had no wallet like this. Anyhow, it's empty.
Not quite empty. A picture of a man. An identification card.
You know?
Not really, Mrs. Amboy, but I know about him. He's a man who didn't get off an elevator. He tried, but he didn't make it. Mrs. Amboy's eyes glittered through the shadows of the room filled with shadows. And all that was in them was the hard crust of a hatred finally resolved. It was not only Eddie's clothes she had burned, but his touch, his gaze on her, his whispered night words. There was nothing more I could ask her about Eddie that she would answer. So I got out. The picture, the identification card and the wallet she gave me belonged to the man who had been murdered and found in the elevator. Now I knew who he was, but I needed more than that. There was an address on the card. I went to it.
Oh, well, I'm afraid you'll have to come back some other time, sir. Dr. Stafford is not in.
I know that. I'm from the police. Danny Clover. And you?
The attendant. I help Dr. Stafford. There's a small hospital here. Only Dr. Stafford and myself. Police?
Yes. I wonder...
Well, I'm afraid you'll have to take up whatever it is you want with Dr. Stafford. I'm not in a position... What else do you want, Mr. Clover?
Something like this. How is it you don't seem to know that Dr. Robert Stafford is dead?
He often takes trips away from here for 2 or 3 days at a time. I never could... Dead?
Murdered.
That's impossible. He was so hairy and hardy when he left here. He was so...
Murdered.
I knew it would happen someday. I knew it, and I told him so many times.
Why? Why did you tell him that?
Because of the nature of his profession. Dr. Stafford was a psychiatrist, a very competent one. Some of the people he treated were mad. Murderous and mad. He wanted to read the very records. Calling.
Where are they?
What?
The records, where are they?
Oh, in his office, in there. But you know that. You've no right. Those are Dr. Stafford. Please, Mr. Clover.
These papers here on the desk? Are these records?
Yes, Dr. Stafford was studying those the night he went away. I haven't touched them. Dr. Stafford didn't like them.
His history, Conrad. Doesn't make sense. I can't understand what's written here.
Psychiatrist records are like that, Mr. Clover. Mr. Clover, you can't take those with you. They belong to Dr. Stafford.
Welcome, Danny. Welcome to the office that Freud built with the taxpayers' money, Danny.
Dr. French, how are you?
All right, Danny, all right. Well, what brings you to the city psychiatrist? Problem?
No problem.
Off the record?
On it, Doctor. I've got a file here. It's filled with words and parts of words that I don't understand. A file about a sick woman.
Illness requires a special language, Danny. Let me take a look.
Here. Anything, Doctor?
Gently, Danny, gently. This is quite a history.
Sum it up for me, Doctor. Tell me so I can understand.
Can the lay mind understand insanity? For the woman named Conrad, it says here that she's insane.
How insane?
The insanity of the headlines, Danny. The sensational insanity. The woman named Conrad is a homicidal maniac.
Yeah.
This woman needs attention. According to these notes, she was going to be committed.
I know. But which one?
I don't understand.
Which one, Doctor? Which Conrad? Martha or Mary? Which is a homicidal maniac? Which? Tartaglia, get in here.
Yeah, Danny, yeah. I was just in the... Hey, what are you doing with your gun, Danny? The old ammunition don't please you?
Something like that. Tartaglia, I've got a thing for you to do.
Always a pleasure, Danny.
Tell the boys in the press room we've captured a homicidal maniac.
Oh, that's nice. Huh? Hey, where, Danny? Where is he?
A woman, Tartaglia. A mad woman named Conrad. Tell the reporters we're holding her for the murders of Dr. Robert Stafford and Eddie Amboy.
Well, you have spoken, Danny. But
what, Tartaglia?
Well, me, a policeman. It makes me ashamed to confess it, but I don't know what's going on in the police department.
I'll whisper it in your ear, then you'll know. Eddie Amboy. He was the key, Tartaglia.
The key to what, then?
To the murder of Dr. Robert Stafford, to his own. Because he saw the Conrad woman kill Stafford, then blackmailed her in his own special way. Eddie had special ways.
Well, if I could only understand it, it would explain something.
Well, it explains Eddie's delay in calling the police. He had to fix it up with a murderer, Tartaglia. It took him an hour. When he finally convinced her, he called us. He didn't know he was playing games with a mad woman.
Oh, and this Conrad was the woman who saw through the cable and thereby dropped an elevator on him?
Yeah.
Hey, but wait a minute, Danny. There are two Conrads, Mary and Martha. Now, don't play hard with my emotions, Danny. Which one was it, Mary or Martha?
How would I know? Another thing, Tartaglia. One of the Conrad sisters is in her apartment now. I checked. Tell Muggerman not to let the other sister get to her. Under no circumstances is one sister to contact the other. You got that?
Got it, Danny.
One more thing. If anyone wants me, anyone, they can reach me at home. Is it all clear now, Tartaglia? So I went home. I tapped on the landlady's door, told her I was expecting visitors, told her to send them up. In my apartment, I hung my shoulder holster with a gun across a chair, then sat facing the window, trying to hold on to at least one of the answers that kept nudging themselves through my mind. But they were fleeting and of no consequence. A murderer might come calling tonight. This was the thought that crowded out the rest of the thoughts. And then below me, captured in the pool of light spread by the street lamp, a silhouette, a woman. A woman who looked for a house number, found it, walked to the door beneath me. Found me. Good evening, Miss Conrad.
May I come in?
I want you to. Over there, Miss Conrad. Sit down.
No. I'd rather stand.
All right. Why did you come here?
What have you done with her, Mr. Clover? What have you done with my sister Martha?
You've seen the newspapers. The police have her. She'll see the psychiatrist in the morning. You know that, Miss Conrad. You know she needs medical attention.
I know that. But you'll put her away. You'll put her away like an animal. She'll die in a cage. My sister.
Your sister murdered two men.
Yes.
Why didn't you come to the police? You knew she murdered Dr. Stafford, knew about Eddie Amboy.
She'll die in a cage. Crawling in a cage.
Come in.
Martha, what are you doing here? That policeman, he said, the papers said...
They're holding you, Mary. I thought they'd finally caught you. Mary.
It's a trick. Let's run. Let's get out of here.
No more running.
Come on.
No more.
Let's go.
Sick, Mary. Don't you know that? I tried to help, but men is killing us. Oh, Mary.
Don't touch me. You've turned on me. Now he knows. And I'll kill you both. Mary, put down that gun. I'll kill you.
The smoke from the gun curled up and mixed with her hair, and behind the smoke, her face, surely disintegrating, dissolving into disbelief. She stood there, her body taut, her mind clutching for one fleeting instant of sanity that it was through, over, done with. The simple recognition that the gun had been harmlessly loaded. Then she rejected everything. A little while later, some men came. Men who knew about these things. They picked her up and carried her away. Broadway's deserted now, except for those who have never quit. Those who wear peephole for eyes, the dream walkers, the people who want to laugh. They search behind doorways and alleys, through shuttered windows. And they never go home, because they can't. It's Broadway, the gaudiest, the most violent, the lonesomest mile in the world. Broadway, my beat.
Broadway's My Beat stars Larry Thor as Detective Danny Clover with Charles Calvert as Tartaglia. The program was produced and directed by Elliott Lewis. The musical score was composed and conducted by Alexander Courage. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Average of 3-to-1 over all other toothpastes in a recent nationwide test. They said new Pepsodent tastes better, makes breath cleaner, and makes teeth brighter. Remember, new Pepsodent gives you more invigorating irium foam. It sweeps dulling film away. No wonder it's the 3-to-1 favorite with families all over America. Get new Pepsodent with irium for your family right away.
Our next broadcast was the brainchild of Jack Webb and may very well be the most well-remembered and best radio police drama series of all time. It ran from September in 1949 through February 1957 in 30-minute shows broadcast on NBC, and it brought to radio true police stories in a low-key, documentary style. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Dragnet on HOJO Radio.
Here's another in NBC's great parade of new shows.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
NBC brings you Dragnet. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to Homicide Bureau. A police officer has been shot, mortally wounded. One of the suspects has been apprehended. The other is still at large. Your job, find him.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. investigated and solved by the men who unrelentingly stand watch on the security of your home, your family, and your life. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, November 16th. It was foggy in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Ed Backstrand, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 11:58 a.m. when we got to the Georgia Street Receiving Hospital, second floor, room 5. Treatment room.
Oh, you made good time.
How's Bemis, Doc?
Got in the lungs, Ben, 3 times. He's going fast.
His wife with him?
Yeah, they're bringing him down now.
Can we talk to him?
Yeah, make it fast.
Come on, Joe.
Yeah.
This way. Easy. John, it's Friday and Romero. I want to talk to you a minute.
Doc, it burns. My chest. Burning up.
Nurse?
Yes, Doctor?
The hypodermic.
Yes, Doctor.
Yeah, easy. All right, fellas. Don't take too long.
John, it's Joe Friday. Can you tell us how it happened?
Joe.
How'd it happen, boy? Can you tell me?
Can't figure it, Joe. Why'd he do it?
We gotta find out. Now, how'd it happen?
I don't know. I was directing traffic. East Broadway and First Street. Gray coupe. Pulled up for the stop. Gray coupe.
How many men in the car? How many, John?
2. Gray coupe. Pulled up for the stop. In the pedestrian lane. Went over. Gonna ask him to back up. Back up out of lane. Just gonna ask him.
Yeah, John, and then what?
Driver. Dark hair. Eyes. Dark. Went over. Gonna ask him to back up. Pointed a gun. No reason. Pointed a gun at me.
All right, easy, John. Take it easy.
No reason, Joe. No reason he fired.
Hurry it up, Joe.
Yeah.
No.
What about the other man in the car? Did you see him? Can you describe him?
Joe, did you get him? Great coupe. Driver. Guy with him.
We got the driver, John. He's upstairs. The other one got away. We gotta find him. You gotta help us.
My wife. Somebody send for Dora.
She's on her way. She'll be here in a minute. Now, can you tell us, the other man in the car, what did he look like?
Great coupe.
What did he look like?
Don't press him, Joe.
Great coupe. The driver. Pointed a gun. Dark hair.
Yeah, I know. The other man, John. We got the driver. What did the other man look like?
Send for Dora.
Come on, Ben. Thanks, Doc.
Okay, Joe.
Going fast.
Yeah.
John got any kids?
2.
Always pick a family man.
This thing's got a phony ring to it, Ben. You don't just pull a gun and shoot a man.
Not if you're sane, you don't. Here's the stairs.
The guy we got is as sane as they come.
And how do we explain it?
All I know is that hood shot John Bemis, and I want to know why.
Might be a lead in that car he was driving.
Maybe. Come on, here we are.
Phone message for you, Friday. Came in a few moments ago.
Thanks, Davis. It's from R&I.
They got a make?
Take a look.
No make or warrants on James Vickers' grave.
Let's talk to him. Come on.
Yeah.
Minor wound, Joe. Bullet penetrated the fleshy part of his hand. Didn't touch the bone.
Thought this guy had an arm wound, too.
Just a neck, man.
That officer you shot, Vickers, he's dying.
Is he?
He's a family guy. Got a wife, 2 kids.
Has he?
Why did you shoot him, Vickers?
Ask him.
We did.
Then you know the reason.
Said there wasn't any reason.
That's right.
Look, we're gonna make you on this, Vickers. You know that, don't you?
I don't know anything.
Why'd you shoot him?
Shut up.
Why'd you shoot him?
Joe.
Yeah. Davis?
Yeah?
Stay with him.
Fine.
Doc, get us an MT slip on this guy, will you? We'll be back in a minute. Come on, Ben.
All right, Joe. I'll have it ready.
2 big punk.
Easy, Joe.
Oh, easy nothing. I've seen too many good cops like Bemis cut down by punks like that Vickers.
Getting mad won't help.
Come on, down the stairs.
Back to see Bemis? Why?
Just for the record. I want to see if the doc thinks it's okay for us to bring Vickers down. I'd like to have Bemis definitely identify him as the guy who shot him.
We've got 3 good witnesses.
An identification for Bemis will clinch it. I want to see Vickers get everything he's earned when he goes to court.
All right.
Yeah.
He went fast, Joe.
Yeah. That his wife?
Yeah.
She make it in time?
No.
Did he say anything that'd help?
No, it might. He said a prayer.
City Hall.
2625.
2625.
Auto Records, Crowley.
Joe Friday, Vince. What about a make on that car used in the Bemis shooting this morning?
Yeah, Joe, been trying to get a hold of you. Where are you now?
Georgia Street, second floor. What about the make?
Car was reported stolen yesterday afternoon. Registered to Harold Simpers, 716 Everett Street. Report said the car was taken from a parking lot at Grand and Wabash.
Okay, Vince, thanks.
What about the guns they found in the car?
Lee Jones still has them over at the crime lab. He's running them through.
No word yet?
No.
You make out the impound report on the car, Joe?
Yeah, recovery report, too. They're still dusting for print.
MT slip ready, Doc?
Yeah, right here, Ben. Medical card, history, MT slip.
You ready, Vickers?
Yeah.
All right, put out your wrists. Put the cuffs on him, Ben. Watch his hands.
You saving me for the hot lights?
All right, let's go.
I'm not going to jail.
You're in jail now.
Looks like a hospital.
Bars on the windows, aren't there?
All right, come on.
Give me a smoke.
Here.
Okay. Light. What do I get if I open up?
No deal.
My talk, make it attractive.
Who was the other guy in the car?
Hitchhiker. I always give rides.
Then why'd he run when we chased you?
Maybe he was scared.
You're part of a gang.
Maybe.
Who was the other guy?
What's it worth?
Oh, come on, Vickers. You're wasting our time.
Where are we going? All right. My hand hurts. I want to call my own doctor. You hear me? Yeah. That cop pulled his gun first. I can prove it.
Yeah, down the stairs.
Easy, huh? Where are we going? I said, where are we going? All right, what's it worth if I talk? I could tell you all about it. Let's make a deal.
You'll tell us anyhow.
Think so?
All right, you out the door.
Wait a minute, huh? Cigarettes out.
All right, Ben, light it.
Yeah.
Nice of you guys. Thanks.
Oh, get up, Ben. Vickers, stop.
He's crossing the street.
Fire over his head. Watch the crowd. Vickers!
Joe, he's running for that car.
All right, let's hold it, Vickers. All right, stop it, Ben.
He stopped. Come on, Joe.
All right, come on, get back, please. Let us through here. Let us through.
Shall I call a doctor, Joe?
No, he wouldn't be interested. The guy's dead. James Vickers, murder suspect, address unknown, died almost instantly at 1:13 p.m., November 16th, while attempting to escape. His body was taken to the county morgue where it was posted. All the personal effects found on the body were listed by the coroner, and a receipt for them given to our office. At 8:35 the next morning, Ben and I met with Chief of Detectives Ed Backstrand.
Those 4 guns they found in the car Vickers was driving. They're all U.S. Army property.
Where were they stolen from, Skipper?
I don't know. Each one of the guns is stamped U.S. Army, that's all.
Well, that makes it easy.
The coroner find anything on the body?
Nothing to tell us why Vickers decided to kill a traffic cop.
What did Bemis say before he died?
He was on traffic duty yesterday morning down at East Broadway and First. At 10:35, a gray coupe pulled up for a stop sign. Vickers was driving. Bemis started over to tell him to back up out of the pedestrian zone. Vickers pulled a gun and shot him.
How'd they catch Vickers?
Chased him 3 miles before he piled into a lumber truck. The guy with him got away.
Fine.
Checked R&I. No make or warrants on Vickers. Kickback's not in on his fingerprint.
All right. What's your guess, Friday?
I don't have one, Ed.
Vickers could have been hopped up.
Doc Stanley over at Georgia Street said no. We checked him.
Wait a minute. Backstrand. Yeah, hold on. For you, Friday.
Okay, thanks. Friday talking. Yeah. Yeah, good. Be right over, Lee. We're in business, Ed. Crime Lab just found Vickers' address.
There it is, Joe.
Thanks, Lee. Let's see, huh? Silver Dollar Hotel. Received a Mr. James Vickers, $6.50, room 345.
Where'd you find it, Lee?
Under the front seat, in with the tools.
Anything else?
Not a thing.
How about prints?
2. Kind of smudged. Hope we can run a make with them.
No prints on those 4 guns, Lee?
Smeared. Not enough to classify.
Yeah, this is it, Ben.
That's all we got.
Come on, let's see if we can make it pay off. We located the Silver Dollar Hotel on East Grand between 16th Street and Pico. It was an old-type frame building with a brightly colored neon sign jutting out over the sidewalk just above the dark entrance. The manager's name was Luther Gage. We showed him a picture of James Vickers. He definitely identified him as one of his former tenants. He told us that Vickers had stayed at the hotel 1 week in room 345 and that he had checked out 2 days ago.
Was Vickers staying here alone, Mr. Gay?
Yes, alone. Quiet man.
Did he have any visitors?
Maybe. Wouldn't know. Paid his bills, spent most of his time away from the hotel. Good tenant.
Did Vickers have any friends here in the hotel?
Maybe. Fell in the room next to Mr. Vickers. He still lives here. 2 of them used to be kind of thick.
Can we look at that room Vickers stayed in, Mr. Gage?
Let's see. Yes, it's still vacant. All right, this way.
This man Vickers was friendly with. What's his name, Gage?
Knight. Raymond Knight. Room 343.
Is he in his room now?
No. Went out about 8 this morning. Here's the elevator.
How well would you say Knight and Vickers knew each other?
Couldn't say. Good tenants, both of them. Pay their bills.
Did they go out together? Seem to know each other well?
Wouldn't know. I don't pry.
Look, this case involves murder, Mr. Gage. We told you that. We'd appreciate your cooperation.
Cooperation don't pay the rent, Sergeant. 3rd floor. This way. Here, 345.
Open it up. Nothing.
Yeah, over here. Looks pretty clean, Joe.
All my rooms are clean.
He didn't mean it that way, Mr. Gage. I wonder if you'd show us Knight's room now. That's next door, isn't it?
I don't know about this. Poking into other people's rooms. Not regular.
Neither's murder. Come on, let's go.
Does Mr. Knight have this room to himself?
Sure ask questions, don't you? No, Knight has a friend staying with him. About 2 weeks now. Not in much.
Is he in now?
Don't think so.
Ben, watch it! Oh, drop that, you! Bad shot, Mr. Gage. Look out! Come on, get up!
Ben?
He's out cold. Look what you've done to the room.
I thought you said Knight wasn't in.
He isn't. This is his friend.
Great friends. 45 automatic in his hand. 38 snub nose in the bureau. Another 45. Look in his bag.
I don't pry. He pays his bills. Good tenant.
Yeah. Can I get outside on this phone?
Yes. All outside calls are 10 cents.
Yeah. Here.
Have to keep the books straight.
Sure you do.
Who's going to pay for the damage?
Ask Mr. Knight's friend here.
Well, say...
Why worry? He pays his bills. Good tenant. I called Ed Backstrand, and he sent out a special detail to stake out the hotel and bring in Raymond Knight if and when he returned. Ben and I drove to the Georgia Street Receiving Hospital, where Doc Stanley patched up the cut on Ben's scalp and treated Raymond Knight's friend for simple cuts and bruises. From papers found in his wallet and in the hotel room, he was identified as Frank Gannon, 9896 Wasatch Street, Kansas City, Missouri. When we got to headquarters, we had Gannon taken to the interrogation room where we questioned him briefly. He told us that he was a self-employed watch salesman, and that he was in the city on a business trip. He admitted friendship with Knight, but not with Vickers. We booked him at the county jail for assault with intent to commit murder. The 3 guns found in the hotel room were turned over to the crime lab. We reported back to the office.
Joe, my head's pounding like mad. That Gannon's a mean one.
Yeah, it's a nasty crack. I got some aspirin in my desk.
Might help. Here you are.
Hi, boys. Rough day?
I don't get much rougher, Eddie.
Message for you on the desk. Oh, I'm gonna eat. Starving.
Right, Tracy.
What is it, Joe?
Jones got a make on those prints he lifted off the car.
Let's see. Yeah, something else in there on James Vickers.
Wanted 10-14-43, desertion, U.S. Army.
That could account for those stolen army guns.
Yeah.
What about the make on those prints Lee found?
Let's take a look.
Vance Taylor's. Good solid record.
4 burglaries, 2 armed robberies, 2 assaults. Wait a minute. Here's the mama sheet.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Born so-and-so, age 36. Height. Alias John Fields, Harold Grant, Tom Bissell, Joe... Hey.
Yeah, alias Raymond Knight. The other man who rode in the car with James Vickers the morning he shot down Traffic Officer Bemis finally had been identified. Vance Taylor, alias Raymond Knight. Well, that still didn't explain the unprovoked murder. It didn't explain the 4 guns found in the car or the 3 guns found in the hotel room. An assortment of arms like that could mean something big, but we didn't know what. Gannon's sudden willingness to shoot it out in the hotel room meant something, too, but we didn't know what. We had Gannon brought back to the interrogation room.
Hi, Gannon. Have a seat.
Everything all right?
I'll bet you're worried.
No, we're not worried, Gannon. You ought to be.
Don't make me laugh.
You're tied in with Raymond Knight. That's enough for us.
You send me up for it.
We're going to try.
Big talk.
How long did you know Vickers?
I didn't.
Funny. His prints are all over one of those guns we found in your room.
I'm not worrying.
Then you better start, Gannon. Vickers and Knight killed a man. If you run with him, your hands are dirty, too.
I room with Knight, that's all.
Knight didn't come back to the hotel. Where is he?
We're not that close.
You share your guns and your friends. That's close enough for us.
I don't know Vickers.
You mean you didn't know him?
I said I don't know him.
We got Vickers, Gannon. He's dead.
Good story.
Okay. Come on, Gannon. Let's go down to the morgue.
Down this way, Joe. Cold today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's damp.
Bad sinus weather.
What is all this?
Never seen a corpse before?
No, I'm not in this. Take me back. I don't want to look.
You can close your eye.
Take me back. I don't want to look.
Here we are, fellas. Slam 45.
This way, Gannon.
I get sick. I don't want to look.
Throw back the sheet, Fred. Take a good look, Gannon.
No, he's Knight's friend. I'm not in it.
Who is in it?
I don't know. Take me out. I'm sick.
All right, Fred. Thanks.
Okay, bud.
Interrogation room, Friday.
Joe, on stakeout at the Silver Dollar Hotel. No sign of Raymond Knight. Keep you posted.
Okay, Dave. Thanks.
How long does this go on? I can call a lawyer, you know.
And you better call one right away, Gannon. They just picked up Knight at the hotel. He's incriminated you.
You're a liar.
Sure. Like we were about Vickers.
We'll prove it to you, Gannon. The officers are on their way in now. They're going to put Knight in the next room. You can listen to him.
Look, I came here to sell watches. I ain't in this.
Gannon, you and Vickers and Knight were planning a job, a big one. We know that. If you want to wait till you get on the witness stand to tell your story, it's all right with us.
Didn't take too long to break this one. Smoke some?
Yeah. Thanks.
Gannon? Smoke?
What are you going to do?
Nothing. Just kill a little time. They bring in Knight.
You haven't got Knight.
I haven't unwrapped him yet, Joe. You want to check me out?
Okay, open him up. Give him a good shuffle, huh? You're going to have some time on your hands, Gannon. Want to learn a new card game?
No.
Suit yourself. It's a good game for 2. Better with 3.
Sure, a lot of cards.
Yeah. You got 2 decks there. First off, this game is quite a bit like gin rummy.
Yeah?
There are 8 of every suit. 4 jokers. Jokers count 50 points.
Mm-hmm.
Red 3s count 100 points each. If you get a black 3, you can freeze the deck.
Oh, I see.
I shouldn't say deck. In this game, they call it the pack.
The pack? What's a pack?
Well, it's the discard pile, same as in gin.
You get a red 3, you can freeze it.
No, it's a black 3.
Well, what happens when you freeze it?
Nobody can pick it up.
Oh, I see.
All right. Let's deal out a dummy hand here. Fine game, Gannon. Sure you won't change your mind?
You don't want to play, Joe.
All right, now in 2-handed, you deal out 15 cards, see?
How many can play?
As many as 6, I think. I've only played up to 4.
You play partners with 4?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, count your cards. I think that's 15.
4, 6, 7, 13, 14, 15. Right, now what do I do?
Well, I guess you better lay your hand open. That'll be the easiest way to show you.
Okay.
Spread them all out over there. Well, you don't have a great hand there. You got a couple of black threes. You can use those.
Yeah, that's fine. They count 100 apiece.
No. Those are red threes. Black threes don't count anything.
Oh, red three.
That's right. Do you remember what black threes are for?
You can use them to freeze the pile.
Pack. That's right.
The pack. Well, you know what I mean.
All right, now, look. You see, I got a joker here. Jokers are wild. Do you remember how much they count?
They're wild. 100 points.
No, red threes are worth 100. Jokers count 50.
You don't explain it very good. I don't understand.
Well, how simple can it be? Gannon's not even playing. You get it, don't you, Gannon?
Okay, red threes count 100. Jokers count 50. Black threes, you can freeze the pack.
Yeah, good. Now hold on to that, will you? Now, black threes freeze the pack, but that's not the only card that can do it.
No?
No. Deuces can do the same thing. Well, you see, the only difference is if you use a deuce, which is also wild, you have to have a natural pair in order to pick up the pack. Now, with a black three, it's good until...
I knew it wouldn't work. It was sour right from the start. Vickers killed the cop.
Ben,
I'm not in it.
stenographer.
I'm
Right,
copping
Joe.
out. I'm taking no raps.
Johnny, the stenographer?
Right, Ben.
All right, Gannon.
Too late. You haven't got time. 20 after 1, they're going to do it.
Do what?
Payroll. Brazier Company. Messenger leaves at 1:20. He's got the payroll. 30 grand. They're going to get him.
Where does the messenger leave?
1:20. You're too late. I'm not in it.
Where does he leave?
1:20 leaves the bank, I think. No, maybe the company.
Where's the company?
3rd and Spring. They're going to get him.
Where's the bank the messenger goes to?
Up the block, 2nd National, 3rd and Hill.
Where are they going to get the messenger?
By the alley, Clay Street. I'm not in it.
Ben, check it. Get out of communications. Have him put out a call to block out the area. Give him the details.
Right.
Johnny.
Yeah, Joe.
Stay with this guy.
Okay.
Davis. Let's go. Brazier. Manufacturing. Olympia.
Good afternoon, Brazier Manufacturing Company.
Give me your payroll division. This is a police department emergency.
Oh, what's that, sir?
Your payroll division. It's an emergency.
One moment, sir.
Come on, hurry up.
Payroll, Hopkins.
Mr. Hopkins, this is Sergeant Friday, Police Department. We've had a tip your payroll messenger is going to be held up today. Has he left your building yet?
The messenger?
Yeah.
Oh, my, he left early today. Went out the door about 10 minutes ago.
Thanks. Second National Security. Second National. Fitzroy 3.
Friday, what's all the excitement? You break that guy?
Explain in a minute, Ed. No time.
Good afternoon, Second National.
Give me the manager on duty, please. Emergency.
One moment, please.
One moment. Come on.
I'm sorry, sir. The line is busy. Would you care to wait?
Give me the chief teller.
Thank you.
Chief Teller, Waters.
This is Sergeant Friday, Police Department. Emergency call. Has the payroll messenger from the Brazier Company left the bank yet?
Well, I wouldn't know, Sergeant. Just a moment. I'll have your call switched.
Yeah.
Operator.
Beatrice, would you give this call to Miss Chalmers? It's important.
Thank you, Mr. Waters. Miss Chalmers, good afternoon.
Miss Chalmers.
What's the matter, Friday? You sick?
Yeah, I'm sick.
Miss Chalmers, good afternoon.
Miss Chalmers, this is Sergeant Friday, Police Department. Has the payroll messenger from the Brazier Company left the bank yet?
From Brazier's? Why, yes, not more than 2 or 3 minutes ago.
And he had the payroll with him?
Of course.
Thanks. Got a tip on a payroll stick. I bet you coming?
Yeah, let's go.
Ben, down this way. Coming. Let's hustle it. Down the stairs. Communications, get the story?
You got it on the air now.
Where's this Brazier Company?
3rd and Spring, about 5 blocks from here. Come on. Here's the garage. All right, come on, hit it. Let's make time.
Get the radio on.
Just warming up.
All units. Attention all units. On 3rd Street, corner of Clay Alley, 211. A bank messenger. Suspects are headed west on Clay Alley. Suspects are armed. Code 3. 11R, take the call.
Cars are closing in fast.
4th Street up ahead, Ben. Might meet him at this end of Clay Alley.
Hold on. No, looks pretty quiet at this end.
Not much you can do without... Hey, look. Coming out of the alley now. Guy with the police. Brown clothes.
The guy with him. Pull up, Ben. Now, let's go.
All right, you two, hold it.
They're running for it.
Come on.
Ben, what's that about?
Let's go.
Come on, they're losing it.
I see him up ahead. They're turning on a hill Mill Street.
Romero, come on! Will you, Skipper? You see him, Joe? Heading for the subway terminal.
Yeah, they're going into the crowd. Don't lose them. All right, I'll take the ramp to the left.
Ben, go with him. I'll take the one to the right. You see him, Joe?
No, I lost. Now, wait a minute. There they are, over the turnstile. Come on.
Joe, they're off the platform. They're crossing the tracks.
Ed's got one of them. Come on, over the turnstile. Come on, Ben.
Joe, the other guy. He's down into the tunnel. He's crazy.
Come on, after him. Hug the side. You trapped, Ben. There's a train coming through.
You, come back. You're trapped.
Ben, get out. Hug the side.
Run into Joe.
You all right, Joe?
Yeah. You?
Mm-hmm. You want to check?
No, I don't think it's any use.
Yeah.
Well, let's go.
Wonder why he tried so hard, Joe.
I don't know, Ben. Some people are like that. You can blow the whistle all you want. They never know when to stop.
The story you have just heard is true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
Frank Gannon, the only surviving member of the hold-up gang, was tried and convicted of the crime of assault with intent to commit murder. He is now serving out his sentence at the state penitentiary. You have just heard the 16th in a new series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Acting Chief of Police W.A. Wharton, Los Angeles Police Department.
Tonight's program is dedicated to Private Richard H. Taylor of the Washington, D.C. Police Department, who on the evening of December 13th, 1946, gave his life so that yours might be more secure.
Dragnet came to you from Los Angeles.
Phil Harris likes a great deal about the South. We like a great deal about Phil Harris. For instance, we like his beautiful blonde wife, Alice Faye. In fact, we like the Phil Harris-Alice Faye show, and it just happens that it returns to the NBC air tomorrow. Why don't you take our advice and listen to one of the funniest shows around anywhere? That's the Phil Harris-Alice Faye show tomorrow on most of these same NBC stations. Your tune for the stars on NBC.
You know, it seems to me that mothers get smarter and smarter all the time. For instance, in the old days, when it came time to wean the baby, some mothers would switch to ordinary bottled milk. They had a time of it, too, because the baby was used to pet evaporated milk. And he had some pretty definite ways of telling Mom that he didn't like any change in diet. Well, these days, mothers don't have that trouble at weaning time. They just keep baby on pet milk, and everything's rosy. Baby liked pet milk in the bottle, he likes it in the glass. And even more important, the very same protective substances in pet evaporated milk that help babies build sound teeth, strong, straight bones, and make sturdy, steady growth helps youngsters through all their growing years. Yes, it's getting so in happy homes throughout the country. Youngsters have safe, easy-to-digest pet milk from the time they're born till they have pet milk babies of their own. Which is probably one reason why there are more happy, healthy youngsters today than ever before.
Keep it tuned right here to HOJO Radio for more classic old-time radio.
Here's another in NBC's great parade of new shows.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
NBC brings you Dragnet. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide. A mad killer is loose in the city. In every instance, he leaves the murder weapon behind. There are no fingerprints, no clues to the killer's identity. Your job, get him.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime, investigated and solved by the men who unrelentingly stand watch on the security of your home, your family, and your life. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, June 3rd. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Ed Backstrand, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. I was off duty reporting back in on an emergency call. It was 3:57 a.m. when I got to the basement of the city hall. The carpool.
Let's go, Friday. Sorry to call you back in. Couldn't be helped. All right, Ben.
Okay, Skipper.
What's up, Ed?
Double murder.
When?
I don't know. Found out about it 40 minutes ago.
Got any ideas?
Roughly same M.O.
Was that 6413 Norwich, Skipper?
No, 6430.
What do you mean, the same M.O.?
The same guy. Brickbat killer.
How many does this make?
Counting tonight, 4.
We got anything at all?
Smudged fingerprint we can't even classify.
Sounds like a smart operator.
Well, we gotta get him. If we have to shake down the city from one end to the other.
Big job, Skipper.
Big killer.
At 4:26 a.m., we pulled up in front of 6430 Norwich Drive, a small group of bungalow apartments facing on an oval-shaped garden court. 2 uniformed officers were stationed at the door to the apartment.
Hi, Chief.
Hiya, fellas.
We went inside. Wellberg from Homicide was waiting for us.
This way. In here.
Well, there they are.
Yeah. Mother, daughter.
Joe, on the floor beside the bed.
Yeah, a red brick.
Miss Hafters, we know how you must feel about all this, but would you please try to answer a few more questions for us?
Yes. All right. Oh, Margaret.
Miss Hafters, how long had you known Mrs. Diaz and her daughter?
9 years. This November they moved next door. I remember it so well. We got along right from the start.
And as far as you know, the only close friends the mother and daughter had live right here in the apartment court?
Yes. Margaret was a pretty girl, but she was no chaser, no boyfriends. Very close to her mother. The 2 of them very close.
Did they keep any amount of valuables in the apartment? Money, jewelry, things like that?
Oh, no. Mrs. Diaz and Margaret didn't have much, you know. Very modest income. They both worked.
And you can think of no good reason.
Oh, no. Oh, poor Margaret. Poor Mrs. Diaz. Lying in there. Shock. It's a terrible shock.
Wellberg.
Yes, Sergeant.
Would you show Ms. Hafters back to her apartment?
Sure, Sergeant.
Thank you, Miss Hafters. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Poor Margaret. Poor Mrs. Diaz.
Well, Joe?
Let's check with Ed. He's back in the bedroom.
Just that over there, will you?
You get anything from the neighbors?
The usual, Ed. No jealous boyfriends, ex-husbands, nothing like that.
Boys find any evidence yet, Skipper?
Well, still working on it.
You got any theories?
Well, we know the killings were all done by the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
Cuts the same pattern out of the window screen. Cuts the same pattern with a glass cutter out of the window. Reaches in and flips the locks.
All right, where's that leave us?
And before he gets inside, he makes sure there are only women in the house. That means he probably watches the house for a few days.
Yeah.
Once he gets inside, he wants only one thing, to kill. He's never taken any valuables. As far as we can tell, he's never searched for any. What kind of a man works like that?
I think the guy's kill crazy.
Hey, fellas.
Yes, Donner?
Here's a break. 2 fair prints. 1 thumb, 1 forefinger.
What'd you get, Pete?
Only got 9 points. Not enough to go into court, but enough to make him. We'll know him when we get him.
Yeah.
Found the prints on the lens of the old lady's eyeglasses. Probably knocked him off the night table when he went after her.
And when he was done, he put him back on the table.
Yeah. Had blood on his hands, see?
Yeah.
That's funny, isn't it? Why would he go to the trouble of picking up the woman's glasses after he killed her?
We'll ask him when we find him.
Might have something for you.
We can use it, Lee.
Hold it just a minute.
Yeah.
Crime Lab, Jones. Yeah. Yeah, all right. I'll tell him. Right, Ed. Backstrand. If you're through checking the victim's clothes by 8 o'clock, you can knock off for sleep until noon.
What if we're not through?
Take it up with the chaplain. Here's what I wanted to show you. Over here. A couple of casts.
Bare footprint.
That's right.
Those from the Diaz place?
Found them outside the dining room window in the flower bed. Take a look.
Mm-hmm. Good cast. Size 9.
10.
Missing toe there, huh?
Left foot, first toe.
That's lucky.
Well, the guy took his shoes off before he went in that house.
That's the way it looks.
You leave any other prints, Lee?
3 with his shoes on. Here they are. Here.
Yeah. How would you say the guy is built, Lee?
Oh, from the impression, pretty heavy man. There's no full length of stride, or I might give you an idea of his height.
How about the bricks, Lee?
Here they are, all 3 of them. Used this one in the first murder, this one in the second, this one last night.
Leaves them around like calling cards, and there's no way to check them.
You'll never get a fingerprint off a common red brick like this, Ben. Surface is too rough.
Well, I got an idea of his weight. We know that the first toe's missing from his left foot. That's something.
The one we had yesterday. We can check that missing toe in the amputation file, Joe.
Yeah. Well, we better get back. Pete ought to have those prints ready, too. Thanks a lot, Lee.
Okay, fellas. Say, they post the bodies yet?
Yeah, they're doing it now. Same as the first 2.
The brain?
Concussion, hemorrhage. They didn't have a chance.
Hold it a minute. Crime Lab, Jones. Sure, just a minute. Either one of you fellas.
I'll get it, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah, Romero. Yeah. Good, we'll be right over. They got a make on those 2 fingerprints.
Okay, Joe. Single print file. Made him on the index finger.
Let me see, Pete. Take a look, Ben.
Yeah. Doesn't look like a killer, does he, Joe? Kind of nice looking.
That's right, Pete. They said the same thing about John Dillinger. The name at the top of the make sheet read Carlos Richard Monterey, male, Caucasian, age 19, height 5 feet 11 inches, weight 165 pounds, dark brown hair, dark brown eyes. Last known address, 1663 Naples Street, Los Angeles. Previous arrests, 1. Auto theft, February 8th, 1936. That was all. Ben and I had been expecting more. The information on the mama sheet for Monterey was 13 years old. So was the picture. So was the description. So was the address. In 13 years, a man can change in 1,000 ways. So can his habits, his appearance, his address. In 13 years, everything can change except 2 things. A man's fingerprints and a physical deformity. Missing toe on left foot. Carlos Richard Monterey.
Here it is, Joe. 1663 Naples.
Yeah, come on.
Somebody's coming.
Yes? What is it?
We're police officers. We'd like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, yes. Would you like to come in?
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes?
Would you mind telling us your name?
Monterey. Isabel Monterey. What is it you want?
You're married?
Yes. My husband is Francisco Monterey. Would you explain why you are here?
We thought you might be able to help us. We're looking for a man named Carlos Monterey.
I don't understand you.
We're looking for a man. We'd like to talk to him. Do you know where he is?
Yes. Carlos is dead 7 years ago. He's dead, my husband told me.
And does your husband know Carlos, or did he know him?
He was his brother.
What about your husband's parents, Miss Monterey? Where are they?
They're both dead. Some time now.
Have you ever met Carlos?
No, never. I have only heard of him.
What have you heard of him, Miss Monterey?
Do not ask me.
This is important, very important.
Francisco would not like it if I told you.
It's important, Miss Monterey, believe us.
Carlos, he's sick. His mind. For 8 years, Francisco has not seen him, not heard from him. He thinks he's dead.
But he only thinks so, Miss Monterey. No one's told him his brother's dead. He just thinks so.
What else is there to think?
Where's your husband now?
At his work, the store. Rivera Street near Main. Grocery. Monterey Cartwright Grocery.
Here's your change. Thank you, Mrs. Myers. Now, look, officers, you know how it is. You don't like to let these things get out. That's why I trust you.
You can trust us, Mr. Monterey. We just want to check on a few things.
Oh, fine. Always glad to help out if I can.
Well, can you tell us if your brother was ever in a mental institution in his life?
Oh, I know there was nothing wrong. 1923. Got a little bad, so Mom and Dad had to put him away for a while, just till he calmed down. I remember the day. Sometimes, dumb, stupid kid, what do he know? Standing there by himself in the train, crying. The public nurse, stupid way he cried. What do you do? I cried too. I was only 10, Sergeant. I saw him go. He was alone.
Later on, Mr. Monterey, your brother was released from the state institution.
Yeah, he was 16. And then he started running around, playing tough, carried a gun, lived by himself. He never came around. He dropped from sight about 1938.
You haven't heard from him since then?
Nothing. Never seen him.
Do you know of anybody who might have seen him?
Ooh, there was a girl he had. Anita something. On Soteo Street. Anita Martin, yeah, that's it. Soteo Street. Maybe she's seen him. Ask her. Maybe she's seen him.
Carlos Monterey? Not in a year. Last March he was in. When I was working at the Peacock, down on South Main. He came in, we talked for a while. That was all.
And you haven't seen Carlos for the past 2 months or so?
I tell you, no.
Has he written to you? Has he phoned you?
Once, 3 weeks ago, he phoned. Here. He left a message with my girlfriend. But he didn't call back again. Now, that's it. That's all I know.
Thank you, Miss Martin. Here's our card. If he does call, well, you'll let us know.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
You liked Carlos, is that it, Anita?
Like him? No, I didn't like him. He was funny, but he was nice. You know, I pitied him.
Why did you pity him, Miss Martin?
Well, he was a good fellow who was strange. He could smile, you know. He had a nice smile, but you could tell he was never laughing. There was something in his mind. Something... Oh, I don't know.
At least a year, closer to 2, I haven't seen Carlos. No letters, not a card, nothing. He was in the East the last time I heard.
When was that?
A year ago, January. I was in here. He sent me a calendar. Sometimes he could get along fine, very well. Other times, terrible. He couldn't keep him down.
How'd he manage to stay out of jail that way, Vicente?
I don't know. Sometimes he should have been in jail 5 times over.
And you say you don't know of anybody who might have a recent picture of Carlos, a snapshot?
No. No one I can think of.
Okay, Vincenti, here's our card. If you do think of somebody, let us know, will you? It'll help.
Sure, glad to. If I hear of anybody. What kind of a day is it outside? Hot?
Hot. By 5 o'clock that afternoon, Ben and I were certain of one thing. Carlos Monterey was in the city of Los Angeles, somewhere. We drove back to the office and told Ed Backstrand about our interviews with Monterey's relatives and his friends. Inquiries and requests for further identification and information on him were immediately relayed to the state mental institutions. The 13-year-old picture of Monterey taken from the files was copied and distributed with a note of caution as to the age of the photograph. An APB was sent out. Stakeouts were placed at the home of Monterey's brother, at the brother's store, and at the apartment of Anita Martin. A special detail of 300 men was ordered to join the dragnet already in operation. The details at the airport and the bus terminals were alerted, as well as the details at the Union Depot and the main post office. By 6 o'clock that night, almost 1,000 men were actively working at the job of tracking down Carlos Monterey. At 6:30 p.m., Ben and I drew a 4-hour relief period. We drove out to Ben's place, and his wife fixed us some dinner. At 10:30 that night, we reported into the office, picked up Ed Backstrand, and we drove out to join the manhunt.
Unit 32R on the corner of South Flower and Loomis, the 390W, KMA 367. Unit 12A, code 1. 66A at 864 Wall Street. See the man about a 507, KMA 367. Unit 42, 5430 East Grand, apartment King, 311, KMA 367.
We cruised with the dragnet operation until 5 o'clock that morning. Ben and I took turns driving. Actually, the tremendous job of scouring 500 square miles of city for one man was only beginning. Unless there was an unexpected break, the search for Carlos Monterrey could wear on for weeks. It did. Night after night, the manhunt went on, and day after day. There was no break. 16 days later, on a Sunday night, I went to bed early. I read a while, and then I turned off the lamp and went to sleep. Hello? Friday talking.
Sorry, Joe. Get in here as fast as you can.
What's the matter?
That girl Monterey knew, the one you talked to,
Yeah?
she left her apartment, went to her girlfriend's.
Yeah?
She's dead.
There it is. Ordinary red brick. Found it by the body.
How long's she been dead, Skipper?
Well, she was seen alive about an hour and a half ago.
Got 3 bare footprints, good length of stride. Found them down in the lot beside the house.
What do they look like?
Same guy. First toe missing from the left foot. The same weight impression. Should be about 5'11". That checks out with what you got, doesn't it?
All right, so it's the same guy.
What about those shoes we found, Lee?
Yeah, they correspond. They were impregnated with foreign matter.
What'd you find?
Particles of lettuce leaf, dry onion skin, traces of red cabbage.
Maybe a vegetable counter.
Maybe.
What about the city wholesale market down on Front Street?
What about any market in Los Angeles?
No, Lee, that wholesale market is big enough to hide anybody. Hundreds of transients work in there. Some of them even sleep there. For a guy like Monterey, it'd be perfect.
That's a fair guess. Check it when it opens.
They open at 2 a.m.
2:30 now.
All right, get back to the office and pick up as many extra men as you need. Get down there right away.
Okay, Ed.
Now, you know he's a rough one, so watch it.
On Monday, June 23rd, at 2 minutes past 3 a.m., we pulled up at the city wholesale produce market. With the exception of 54 police officers in plain clothes who mingled with the buyers and sellers, business went along as usual. The market itself covered almost 3 square blocks in the lower part of the downtown area. It was divided off into hundreds of individual stalls by flimsy wooden partitions. To make the search even tougher, the place was crowded. For the first 45 minutes, we had the men circulate at random through the crowd on the chance that one of them might spot Carlos Monterrey from the 13-year-old picture. It didn't happen. After that, we started a systematic canvass. We talked to the customers, we talked to the managers of the different booths, we gave them Monterey's description, we showed them his picture. Nobody recognized him. We checked the employment records one by one. Not a sign.
Sorry, Sergeant. I'd like to help. I've never seen the guy.
Okay, Mr. Snyder, thank you.
We sure picked the sweet jobs, don't we?
Oh, yeah, we could spend a year at this.
Oh, Sergeant Friday.
Yeah, Kamansky. Did you find something?
Guy at the booth over there against the far wall. Thinks he might have hired Monterey a couple of days ago.
Come on, Ben. Where?
Over there, Sergeant.
You showing Monterey's picture?
Yeah, he thinks it might be him. Mr. Fresnetti, this is Sergeant Romero, Sergeant Friday.
Yes, I told your boy, Sergeant. This fellow Carlos, I hired him to help last Thursday. Big rush for me now, so I hired him.
You sure he's the man?
In the picture? I think so. A little older, maybe. Oh, but I know faces. He's the man. You're looking for him?
You say you hired this man last Thursday?
That's right. It's a big rush for me now in the morning. I hired him Thursday. He worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But he don't show up this morning, so I got no use. Too many men to pick from. He don't show up, I let him go.
What kind of work did he do for you?
Same as he did for Schiller down there. Heavy work. Moving the stores, cleaning up.
What kind of produce does Schiller handle, Mr. Franzenetti?
Fancy, very fancy vegetables. Choice. New potatoes, expensive red onions. Schiller sells to the big hotels.
Does Schiller handle brown onions, Mr. Franzenetti?
Oh, only the best. Big dealer that Schiller. Sells it to the big hotels.
How long has this Carlos been working around the market?
Oh, I don't know. It's just like the rest. First he worked for me, then Largo Massini, then Schiller. Hey, why are you looking so hard for him? He stole something?
He murdered somebody.
Him? Mamma mia, murder.
Do you have any idea where Carlos lives?
Oh, me? No. And if he comes back here, I tell him to get out. I got nothing to do with this trouble.
No, you'll tell him nothing, Mr. Fresnetti. Here's our card. If you see Monterey again, call us. Say nothing to him.
Oh, sure. I remember.
Joe, call the chief at the office, will you? Message just came in.
Thanks, Al. Come on, Ben.
Yeah, there's a phone booth. See?
No, I don't. Where?
Straight ahead, little to the left.
Oh, yeah. You got a nickel?
Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you are.
Thanks. I'll see what Ed wants. 2511.
2511.
Chief of Detectives Office, Hannon.
Hi, Mike. Ed there?
Ed, take it on extension 2, will you? Backstrand talking.
Friday, Ed.
Move fast on this one, Joe.
What's up?
Main post office. Carlos Monterey picked up a letter there less than 5 minutes ago.
Come on, Ben. There's Ed over there with Wellberg.
Yeah. Traffic short jammed up around here.
Hi, Ed.
Friday, Romero, you all set, Wellberg?
All set, Chief. Spring Street to San Pedro. Sunset the 1st. Got it covered.
Good.
What's the story?
Post office detail tipped us off. 5 minutes after 8, a man answering Carlos Monterey's description picked up a letter at the general delivery window. That was 16 minutes ago.
Who spotted him?
Sam Lane. Got a look at him just as he was leaving the window. Called to him to stop, but Monterey ran. Lane called me, and we threw a net over the area for 6 blocks around.
And Monterey's still somewhere inside this area?
I don't know how he could have gotten out.
What's next?
Well, I'll give him an hour to break for it. After that, we start a house-to-house search of the whole area. Stop all pedestrian and vehicular traffic for identification.
You're going to jam up the depot traffic.
That's cheaper than murder, Romero. Get going.
The first hour we counted off in 5-minute segments. Like Backstrand, we felt close enough to Monterey to touch him. But he still wasn't there. The north and south ends of the blockade started to move in, slowly. Searching every store, every house, every conceivable place where a man might hide out. In the meantime, Ben and I worked the Spring Street side of the blockade, watching the faces of the pedestrians as they came through, one by one, examining all vehicles and their drivers. The morning wore on, the sun came out, and it started to get warm. By 11 o'clock that morning, Monterey still had not been found. The temperature was 93 in Los Angeles. It was still climbing. The search went on. At 10 minutes past 2 p.m., Backstrand made the rounds.
How's it look, Skipper?
Not good. Going slow.
How much longer you figure?
I don't know. It'll go to after dark, that's sure. District down here is like a rat's nest.
Yeah. Nothing?
Nothing. But he's someplace inside this blockade. He's got to be.
Any chance getting relief for the men in our squad? Some of them been working straight through since yesterday.
I'll see. Check with me around 5 this afternoon.
Thank you, Skipper.
Keep a sharp lookout. One slip. That's all it takes.
The search went on. At 3 o'clock that afternoon, the temperature was 95. We sweltered and we waited. At 3:45, Backstrand sent a squad of men into the Union Depot to search it from top to bottom. There was one false alarm when one of the men thought he saw Monterey slipping out a side door into a taxi. He turned out to be a train conductor. At 25 minutes past 4, Backstrand passed along the order to our detail to start moving in, house by house. It was a tedious job, and it went slow. The men were tired. At 5:30, the relief squad showed up. Ben and I stayed on. After another 2 hours of house-to-house searching, the trap was narrowed down to a 3-square-block area, a single block wide and 3 blocks long. It started to get dark. Backstrand ordered out batteries of floodlights. By 8 p.m., the cordon closed in around the last 2 square blocks.
Lines are all set, Skipper. Ready to move.
Good.
What do you think?
We'll know pretty soon, one way or the other.
Frank, keep that traffic moving.
All right, you two, get going.
See you later, Skipper. Joe, let's take a look in here.
Okay.
Sure is an old building.
Yeah. Where'd Kamansky go?
I don't know. He's here a minute ago. Oh, wait. There's his flashlight. Down at the end of the corridor there. He's signaling.
Yeah, come on. Kamansky?
Yeah. Down below, Sergeant, in the basement. Come on.
Monterey?
He's been there, I think. Here, this way.
Where?
Over here. Now watch your step. The light's bad. There he is. Says he's the janitor.
Oh, my head.
He's been slugged.
All right, come on. How'd it happen? Can you tell us?
Yeah, a big man hit me. I came down to empty the baskets. He hit me and ran. Ran over to the new building.
The new building? Is that the one next door?
Yeah, just a few minutes ago.
Nobody's come out of this building for the past half hour. Every door in the place is guarded.
No, not the doors. He went through the tunnel. I saw him. Over there's the tunnel.
I'll take a look, Joe.
Yeah, the tunnel connects the 2 basements. Same company, old building, new building. The tunnel connects the basements.
Joe, come on.
Yeah. Kamansky, get out to Backstrand. Tell him what's happened.
Right, Sergeant.
And call an ambulance.
Right.
All right, Ben. Through the tunnel.
Watch where you're going. The light's bad.
Yeah, it is. That a door up ahead there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, let's go.
Good. There's a stairway. Come on. Watch the doors.
Joe, the elevator. They're both on the 3rd floor.
Let's head for the stairs. Ben, come on.
One more floor.
Yeah, right. Come on, hurry.
Yeah.
Look, top of the stairs.
There he goes.
All right, hold it, you.
Stuck in the elevator, Joe. He's going down.
Well, we'll never make it on the stairs.
Joe, look. This other elevator. The control lever's bent.
Let's try it anyway.
Yeah.
All right, kick the control lever. Kick it, Ben.
Good.
All right, Ben, knock the lever back. Come on, quick.
Yep.
What's the matter?
Joe, it's jammed. We're going past.
All right, let's kick it. Here. There, that does it. Can you reach the door control?
Wait just a minute. I'll see. Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's still in the building.
Both elevators are here now.
Yeah. Down the hall, Ben. The office on the left, I think.
Yeah. Okay, here we are.
All right, keep clear of the door. All right, Monterey, put on that gun and come on out.
I'll kill you! I'll kill all of you! All of you!
Okay, Joe, let's take it.
Watch it, Ben. He's throwing everything he can get his hands on.
I'll kill you! Come on! Come on! I'll kill you! Get away! Come on, you!
All right, Monterey.
Come on, you.
Everywhere you!
Okay, Ben, take him.
Nice looking guy. Clean cut.
Yeah.
Doesn't figure, does it?
What's that?
My wife would say he doesn't look like a killer, does he?
What's a killer supposed to look like?
The story you have just heard is true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
Carlos Monterey was examined by 5 different psychiatrists appointed by the Superior Court and was found to be sane. He was tried and convicted of murder in the 1st degree. He was executed in the lethal gas chamber at the state penitentiary. You have just heard the 17th in a new series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the office of W.A. Wharton, Acting Chief of Police, Los Angeles Police Department.
Tonight's program is dedicated to motorcycle patrolman John Kramer of the El Paso, Texas Sheriff's Department, who on the afternoon of April 26, 1940, gave his life so that yours might be more secure.
Dragnet came to you from Los Angeles. Your tune for the stars on NBC.
A great advance in car value at no advance in price. In fact, 4 new Plymouth models actually cost less than last year.
So don't put off seeing it. Meet the new 53 Plymouth at your nearby Plymouth dealers. If you go in tomorrow, you may win one free in the big Meet the New Plymouth contest.
Our next broadcast is heralded as the only national program that brings you authentic police case history. It premiered as G-Men, sponsored by Chevrolet on July 20th of 1935. And then in January 15th of 1936, the show changed its name and had a 21-year run through November 20th of 1957. Beginning with a barrage of loud sound effects, guns firing, and tires squealing, this intrusive introduction led to the popular catchphrase, "Came on like gangbusters," next on HOJO Radio.
Law enforcement departments throughout the United States, the only national program that brings you authentic police case histories. Gangbusters.
Tonight, the case of the costume killer, who was an old hand at his trade and a hard master to his apprentices, until he learned the first lesson of society at the hands of skillful detectives.
And now to gangbusters and facts that show the operation of our law enforcement officials in their war against the underworld. Gangbusters has asked Chief J.A. Pitcock, who recently retired as Chief of Police, Little Rock, Arkansas, after 31 years of service, to narrate by proxy tonight's case.
The inside facts in the case of the costume killer.
Chief Pitcock, from what you've told me, I know tonight's case is so fantastic, the facts about this criminal are hard to believe.
Yes, Don Gardner, but I've got his signed confession to murder right here in my hand.
Well, when did you first hear of this man, Chief Pitcock?
Well, Don, our reports start not too many months ago in the city of Paragould, Arkansas. A tall, slim man about 40 had been sitting in the front parlor of his rooming house. He'd heard a knock at the door, and he was on his way to answer it.
All right.
Hello, Mr. Osprey.
Well, come in, Joey. Don't stand there like a tired old field horse.
Yes, sir. Look, Mr. Osprey, don't be sorry at me because
Don't tell me here. Come on in the parlor.
Yeah.
Kids. Spend your days and nights trying to pound a little something in their pumpkin heads so maybe they'll amount to something. Get in there.
Yes, sir.
Well, what were you going to tell me, boy? Get it out of you. Think you wasn't born with a tongue.
I tried, Mr. Osprey. Honest, I tried.
Sit down.
Yes, sir.
Now, you got to listen to me, boy. For years I've been showing kids how to do this. Kids, they all think they're smarter than you.
Oh, I don't think I'm smarter than you, honest.
Well, if you listened close to me and done exactly like I told you, you wouldn't have had no experience like that.
I tried, Mr. Osprey.
You didn't do it like I told you. You didn't do a thing I told you.
Well, I was awfully scared. That cop came pretty close, awful close.
Well, after you'd listened to me and after you'd opened the window like I showed you how to open it, you'd have been in there and out with a sack full of stuff before that cop even got close.
Yes, sir, I guess I would, but...
But nothing. I got boys all over this city and lots of other cities. I showed them what to do and how to do it. Now, me and you are going back to that store tonight, and me and you are going to come home with a gunny sack full of stuff.
Yes, sir.
And then after we get that, I'm going to show you a few other things. How to disguise yourself up good so nobody can pick you out. How to pick a lock with just a hairpin. How to break a man's arm with just one twist.
Do I have to learn that?
Of course you got to learn that, boy. Sometimes you got to hurt people. Sometimes after you don't hurt people, you get hurt yourself. And hurt bad.
Did you ever hurt anyone?
Only because I had to.
Bad?
Bad enough. I killed him.
Killed him?
Only two.
Oh.
That's what I did my time for. And if I'd killed the third one, I wouldn't done no time at all. But I got soft-hearted. Serves me right. Now, never you get soft-hearted, boy.
Oh, no, sir.
Now, you listen to me. And I'll tell you how we're going to get in that store tonight.
Maybe you ought to use the glass cutter some more.
Shh, boy.
You got it.
Sure, I got it. Okay, Joey, I'll give you a boost up. You unlock the window.
Yeah.
Now grab a hold.
Okay.
Now, up you go. Okay, now. Reach in, unlock the window.
Yes, sir. Wait a minute. A little higher.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I got it.
Good boy. Now come on down. If you hadn't did it like this last night, we wouldn't have had all this bother tonight. You got your gunny sack?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to boost you in. You know what to take. And when you get it, you meet me back the room.
Ain't you coming in with me?
There ain't but one way to learn, boy, and that's do it yourself.
But, Mr. Osprey...
Don't stand there arguing with me. Now come here, I'll boost you.
It ain't fair.
Now up you go. Okay, that's enough. Now jump down. Everything all right?
Yeah, I think so.
Good boy. I'll see you back the room. All right, I'm coming. Joey?
Yeah, it's me.
Just a second. Come in, boy.
Yes, sir.
Good work, boy. You did fine. Where's the gunny sack?
I got it, Mr. Osprey. I left it in the shed.
Well, I told you to bring it so I could give you what you got coming.
I was gonna, but...
But what, boy? Speak up.
There was a cop waiting in front of my house.
A cop?
It's a good thing I saw him, Mr. Osprey. An awful good thing.
You snitch. You...
Please, Mr. Osprey, let me go. I didn't have anything to do with it.
What you doing there, then?
I don't know.
Huh?
Let me go.
All right, boy. If this cop's waiting for you, that ain't good.
What do we do?
Well, I'll tell you, boy. You go on home and get to bed.
But the cop will
That don't matter none, boy. You got no record. You get off easy.
But I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to.
I'll just give you a talking to. With me, it's a sight different. I'm on parole. They send me back to prison for life. You wouldn't want that to happen to your old friend Slim Usry, would you?
Oh, no, sir, I wouldn't.
Well, now you see why I got to leave town. Anyway, I got some of my other boys to look in on. I'll be in touch with you, boy. You'll hear from me. You're a good boy. So, Don, Slim Usry, a parole murderer and tutor in crime, fled to his native town of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, where he sought refuge at the home of his sister Etta. But Slim Usry's sojourn in Hattiesburg didn't prove as pleasant as he had hoped.
Slim? Slim! Slim!
Yeah, what's ailing you now?
I asked you to weed the garden. Instead, you sit there all day like you were the landlord waiting for his rent.
If you want the garden, weed it yourself. I ain't budging, Etta. I ain't budging an inch.
Honest, Slim, it just ain't right.
If I feel like it, Etta, I'll sit here all week.
I don't know how many times I have to tell you, Slim. You ought to be out working like other men.
Now, looky here, Etta. If there was work I felt like doing, I'd be out doing it. There ain't no kind of work around this town I feel like doing. Can't you get that through your head?
If you don't work, you're blown back in the penitentiary.
Now, look here, Etta.
I said the penitentiary.
Don't you talk to me like that, Etta.
The whole town's talking about you. They all know what you are. I got to bear the shame.
Who cares?
I could see that you're sent back to jail.
Shut up, you old king. Why should I dirty my hands on you? Fine home you give your own brother, always nagging. Don't know when to stop.
I guess it was a mistake taking you in.
More of a mistake not coming back.
I guess you better leave, Slim.
I reckon the best.
I want you to be packed when I get home.
Yeah. What time you coming back?
I won't be back till late tonight.
Hey!
What?
Who's going to fix my supper?
Nobody. You're not eating here again.
Hey, Etta! You old hen. You ain't sending me back no penitentiary. You ain't even going to think about sending me back. That, Don, was the moment Slim Usry made up his mind to murder his sister Etta. He knew she would walk home that night, and he waited in the clump of weeds until he heard her footsteps. Etta? Howdy, Etta. You have a nice time?
Oh, Slim, you scared me.
Did I, Etta?
What were you doing back in those weeds? Did you lose something?
No. I'm just fixing to lose something, that's all.
What do you mean?
Nothing, Etta, nothing at all.
Are you all packed to go? I don't want you in my house tonight.
I changed my mind, Etta. I'm staying.
Who said so?
I said so, that's who.
No, not in my house.
No?
If you don't go tonight, I'm calling the police.
You call him, Etta, you call him.
Slim, no, you don't.
Old hen. Try to send me back to penitentiary, will you? Fine little treat of brother. You old hen. I'll show you. Treat your brother like a little dog. Take care of you.
Deputy Sheriff Clarkson.
Deputy Clarkson, this is Slim Usry.
Yes, Slim.
It's my sister, Etta, Deputy Clarkson. She left the house yesterday to go visiting. She didn't come home all night.
Where'd she go, Slim?
Well, I don't rightly know, Deputy Clarkson, but you know, Etta, that ain't like her. Something must have happened to her now. Would you help me find her?
All right, Slim, I'll be right over.
So, Don, the murderer, Slim Usry, reported to the authorities that his sister Etta was missing, although it was Usry himself who killed her. But in carrying out his plan to fool the police, Usry ran into unexpected difficulties.
Okay, let's break right here. More from Gangbusters right after these messages on 670 WMAQ.
George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Austin Blackie.
Edgar Bergen. John and Blanche Bickerson.
This is Stan Freberg. Would you pay $60 for 60 of the greatest old-time radio shows of all time? Well, now you can by ordering Old Time Radio's Greatest Shows, a 60-episode collection for only $60. The Whistler, Gangbusters, Philip Marlowe, Gunsmoke, and many more. all on top quality cassettes housed in a designer case. Plus, you'll also receive a 20-page anecdotal booklet giving you the inside story to each and every show.
Hold everything, Stan. This is Carl Amari, owner of Radio Spirits, with a special limited time offer. If listeners call right now and mention this radio station, they can take $10 off the $60 price. But you must call right now and mention this radio station for this special $10 savings.
Hey, you don't have to convince me. Order toll-free, 1-800-RADIO-48. That's 1-800-723-4648.
It's time for Internet Jeopardy!
I'll take Internet Service Provider for $100.
They're the fastest-growing Internet access company in Chicagoland.
Who is TechPort?
You're correct. You control the board.
I'll take Technical Support for $500.
The company with free 24-hour support.
Who is TechPort?
Right again. Still your turn.
Give me Internet Best Buys for $1,000, Bob.
Now listen closely. They're the company which offers unlimited Internet access, a free homepage for new subscribers, email, and free setup for only one low fee of $19.95 per month. Plus, the first 30 days are free.
Who is TechPort?
Right again. Now, if you answer this next question correctly, you'll double your money and walk away the new Internet Jeopardy champion. How can people sign up with TechPort Complete Internet Access?
That's easy, Bob. They call 1-800-830-4880 or log on to www.techinter.com.
Congratulations, you're our new Internet Jeopardy champion. And remember, TechPort is your best source for complete Internet access. Phone 800-830-4880.
Now, let's get back to Gangbusters.
Now, you were telling us, Chief Pitcock, that Slim Musry murdered his sister Etta and then reported her missing.
Yes, Don. And an investigation was started. The weeded area of the neighborhood was on the list of places where deputies thought the woman might be found, and the search there was in progress.
Deputy Clarkson?
Yes, Slim.
You don't reckon we'll find Etta in here? If anything happened to Etta, it'd break my heart.
I know how you feel, Slim. Let's cut the talking and look.
Okay. Etta.
That is Slim.
Hey, boy. Etta.
Hold it, man.
Hold it. What's the matter? What's the matter?
You find something, Slim? Good Lord.
Etta.
Come away from it, Slim. Come away.
I won't sleep a wink till I get the man who did this. I won't sleep a wink.
Come in.
Hello, Deputy Clarkson.
Slim.
They said you wanted to see me.
Yes. Come on over and sit down.
Sure, Deputy Clarkson. Well, you got any idea who killed my sis?
Yes, Slim. I've got a few ideas.
Well, you just tell me who it was. I could wring his neck with my two hands. I could...
You could what, Slim?
Well, you can't blame me none, Deputy Clarkson. Poor little Etta never did no harm, no one. Murdered in cold blood like that.
You killed two men yourself, Slim.
Oh, that was different.
What was so different about it?
Well, I paid for it. I spent 19 years put away. And You don't think it was me killed Etta?
Oh, I didn't say you killed her, but you could have.
Well, I didn't. What would I be killing my own sis for?
I haven't any idea.
This is a fine thing. I come down here to help you, and I get accused of murder. Just because I've been in a little trouble once or twice, you can't let a man have no peace. Not even when they're fixing to bury his poor sister.
Hey, Slim.
Huh?
Come here.
What do you want?
How come it was you, out of all the people looking for Etta, that found her body? You seem to know just where it was.
She just happened to be where I was looking. If I killed her, you don't think I'd be fool enough to find the body, do you?
Slim, I don't know what to think.
Well, Don, a few months went by and no new evidence turned up. Then one day Slim Musry left town and went to Little Rock, Arkansas.
Shortly after he arrived, Usry walked into a costumer's shop on Commerce Street and asked to look at a wig and mustache outfit he saw in the window.
Yes, sir. Finest wig and mustache in Little Rock. There you are.
Yeah, not bad. I've seen better.
I take it you're going to a party?
Oh, I figured on a couple of parties. You got a looking glass here? If they look good on, maybe I'll take them.
Right in back here, sir?
Oh, yeah.
The mustache sticks right on.
I can see how it works.
Very good indeed. Nobody'd recognize you, not with that on.
How much?
Well, now, let's see. That'd be, $11.80 with the tax.
Okay.
Shall I wrap them up for you?
Sure, wrap them. You don't think I'm going to wear them now, do you?
Attention, all squads. Be on alert for bandit who robbed auto rental agency 6th and Scott of several $100s in cash. This man, described as tall and slender, apparently wore black mustache and wig as disguise. Caution, this man is armed and dangerous.
Oh, come on in, Sergeant.
What a morning, Captain. I had that witness look at every picture in the file. No luck. Not with that wig and mustache disguise. Good disguise.
You know, I can't remember anyone using a disguise like that on a hold-up in years. This must be an old-timer.
Well, the victim thought he was about 40, Captain. It doesn't make him too much of an old-timer. I wonder if he bought that wig and mustache in one of the shops here in Little Rock.
Maybe. But they can't tell whether that stuff came from their shop until they see it. And it looks like we'll have to get our man before they can see it.
Hello, Mr. Usry.
Huh? Well, Joey. Sit down, boy. Sit down.
Thanks, Mr. Usry.
Call me Slim, Joey. People around here know me as Slim.
Okay, Slim.
By gravy, you growed. How about a beer, Joey?
Oh, no, thanks. Later, maybe. Well, I came as soon as I got your letter.
Yeah. Well, I wrote to you, boy, because I like you. And I want to do something for you. I was sure glad to hear you didn't go to that reformatory.
Well, it was like you said. They gave me a talking to and let me go. They haven't caught me since.
That's good, boy, Joey.
I figured when I got your letter you needed some help.
Not just yet, boy. First, you got to finish your lessons.
Lessons? Well, I could do okay now. I've been doing okay.
Well, maybe you could, but we got to be sure about it. Now, tonight, I'm going to try my old disguise trick again. You recollect I was telling you once about disguises?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, boy, tonight, I got a nice little old cafe all picked out. It'll be so easy I won't need help from you. I wouldn't need you even if you was ready. So you just stick around my room.
French fries.
Yes, sir. What'll you have? This, pick up. Reach.
What's the matter?
Everybody quiet.
Wait a minute.
Wait for nothing. I'm in a hurry. Where's the dough?
I'll get it. Hey, it was an accident.
I don't like accidents. Now, don't anybody move till I'm gone. Anybody follow, get the same.
Get him.
How bad is he, Sergeant?
Luckily, not so bad. Both flesh wounds, Captain. This is his room.
Okay, let's go in. Hello, Mr. Walters. How do you feel now?
Oh, not bad, considering.
I'm Captain Crossman.
Oh, hello.
Mr. Walters, do you think you could recognize the man who held up your cafe and shot you?
I don't know. Maybe I could. I ought to know that mustache anyway.
Mm-hmm. Is this the mustache?
Yeah, that's it. I'd swear that's it.
It was found in an alley near your cafe. The hold-up man was seen running up that alley.
That's it, all right.
Thanks, Mr. Walters. We know where it was bought. Now all we've got to do is find the man who bought it.
I tell you, Joey, just like I tell all my boys, if you miss doing something one way, no matter how many times it worked, it ain't good no more.
It seems crazy to me. All you gotta do is get another mustache.
No, boy, police and everybody else on that mustache and wig trick. I gotta try something else.
Yeah, but you promised I could try the mustache trick.
I said no, boy. When I say no, I mean it. Maybe we'll pick up and go someplace else and try it, but not here in Little Rock.
It's nuts, Slim. And we're just getting set here.
And I don't know whether I'm going to stay or not. They got a big charge against me. I could have killed that man last night.
No, the guy was shot up a little. Serves him right.
Maybe I should have killed him.
Sure. So, he'd have been number 3.
Joy. Number 4.
Number 4?
You heard me.
You mean you killed somebody since I saw you last?
What if I did? If you want no account. Getting back, we got to change our way of operating. We got to just... Boy, where you going?
I'm going out for some air.
Well, now watch out where you go and what you do.
Just going out to get you a present.
Present, boy? For me?
Sure. And one for myself. I'll see you later, Slim.
Captain Crossman.
This is Sergeant Woods. We've got men planted at that costume store. Nothing doing yet, Captain.
Well, keep them there. And at the other stores, too.
Okay, Captain, but it's pretty much of a shot in the dark. This fellow'd be a chump to come back for another mustache.
Maybe. But if he does come back, I want a welcoming party for him.
Joey?
Yeah, Slim, open up.
Where you been, boy? Get in here.
I told you I was going out to buy a present.
Is that it there?
That's it.
Well, don't stand there, boy. If you're going to give it to me, give it here.
I got 2 of them.
What is it? Give it here, boy.
Not until you promise I can use one.
One what?
One of these mustache outfits.
Mustache outfits? Where'd you get it?
Let go. Please, Slim, let go, will you?
Where'd you get it?
At the same store you showed me. Please, Slim, you hurt me. Please.
I ought to kill you, boy. I ought to beat your brains out.
No, please.
You could have brought the cops here. You know that.
There were no cops. I looked good, honest. Let go, Slim.
Huh? No cops?
I'm positive. I didn't see anybody.
Well, as long as you didn't see no cops, I guess there'll be no cops coming here, huh?
Sure. Everything's okay.
Yeah. You didn't listen to me, Joey. I kill people who don't pay no attention.
Slim, don't do nothing.
Come here, you miserable...
No, let go. It didn't mean nothing.
Didn't mean nothing, huh?
Oh, please.
What do?
Huh?
Police officers, you're under arrest.
Huh? Me?
Please, I didn't do nothing. He was trying to kill me.
We'll see about that, son. Come on, both of you.
Watch who you're pulling. Come on, you.
Okay, kid. Let's go.
No, I don't want to go to jail.
Come on, boy. It's just another lesson.
It should have been the first lesson. It should have been the first.
So, Don, that was the end of the teacher of crime. And Usry, who thought he had committed a perfect murder, made the worst mistake of all. He told someone about it. And the boy Joey told the police. In the Little Rock jail, William Usry confessed the murder of his sister Etta. Usry was returned to Mississippi, where he died in the electric chair in the Forest County Jail a few months ago.
Well, congratulations, Chief Pitcock, to you and to the men of the Little Rock Police Department who solved this terrible crime. Principal roles in tonight's dramatization were played by Bill Smith and Jack Grimes. Don Gardner speaking. Gangbusters is a Phillips H. Lord production.
You know, what you are tomorrow depends on what you eat today. So, Mother, be sure the big and little Indians at your house always eat a good breakfast. And tell me, what could be better for breakfast than Post Toasties? Post Toasties, you know, are the heat-good cornflakes. The best thing that's happened to corn since the Indians discovered it. But all of the talking in the world couldn't tell you how downright delicious Post Toasties are. You have to taste those crackling, crisp flakes. Yes, you have to taste that sweet kernel corn flavor toasted. Then you know how perfectly wonderful breakfast can be. Put Post Toasties on your shopping list right now, Mother. Just watch how your whole tribe goes for them. Remember, Post Toasties are the heat-good cornflakes.
HOJO Radio, where the classics come alive.
Now in cooperation with police and federal law enforcement departments throughout the United States, the only national program that brings you authentic police case history. Gangbusters!
Tonight, the case of the Dakota bad man who shed handcuffs as a snake sheds skin, but who learned that 2 sudden shots at a federal agent would be repaid in kind.
And now to gangbusters and facts that show the operation of our law enforcement officials in their war against the underworld. Gangbusters has asked the Honorable Victor S. Anderson, United States Attorney in Minnesota, to narrate by proxy tonight's case.
The inside facts in the case of the Dakota bad man.
Mr. Anderson, I know the criminal you're going to tell us about tonight was, for a long time, at the top of the list of fugitives wanted by the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
That's right, Don Gardner. This man, John Frederick Benson, didn't know when he'd had enough, but he was to learn that agents of the FBI are also noted for their perseverance.
Well, where would you like to begin, Mr. Anderson?
I think the best place down would be on the outskirts of Houston, Texas. At 3 o'clock on a mild February morning, exactly 2 years ago this week, the all-night clerk at the Palace Grove Modern Tourist Camp was fast asleep in his chair as a lone figure crept by him. The intruder walked cautiously across a dimly lit court, past cabins number 1, number 2, and number 3. He stopped at number 4. He looked around and quietly tried the door.
Me.
What happened? How did you get out?
They were taking me to the federal building for questioning this afternoon. I broke away. They couldn't shoot any kind of the people.
Oh, you shouldn't have tried it. They might have killed you.
It'll be better than rotting the rest of my life in jail.
This afternoon?
Yeah, I was lucky. I made for the freight yards. I've been laying out in a freight car for 12 hours. You sure they don't know you're here?
I'm pretty sure.
I guess they don't. They would have been around.
You must be starved, Jack. I'll get up.
Don't turn on any lights.
Oh, okay.
I got a job for you.
What?
These.
Oh, Jack.
I don't see yet how I made it. Not with these handcuffs on. I was lucky they let me wear a top coat over my shoulders. I used it to cover them.
But how do you get them off?
There's no problem with a hacksaw. First thing in the morning, walk to a hardware store and get a hacksaw. Wish I didn't have to wait that long. My wrists are practically cut to ribbons.
Maybe I could use a hairpin or something. Maybe I can get them off.
I'm too tired right now to try. I need some sleep. Get that hacksaw in the morning and we'll go to work on the cuffs.
Attention, Texas and Southwestern authorities. Escaped federal prisoner, John Frederick Benson, described in first bulletin. This man, who may still be wearing handcuffs, escaped custody of United States Marshal at Houston, Texas. Caution, caution. Benson may now be armed and is known to be extremely dangerous.
Kitty, baby, come on, a little more.
All right, Jack. I'm trying.
A little more, it's almost full.
There. That's that.
Thanks, kid. Didn't think I'd make it.
I don't see yet how you did.
Just luck, that's all.
I guess you're the luckiest guy in the world.
It took some figuring, too. Ooh, my wrists. Well, I gotta do a lot more figuring, baby. We're still too close for comfort. Tourist cabins are okay, but when they're looking, that's the first place on the list. We gotta get out of here.
I suppose we do.
Yeah, gotta get out and fast. They want me now worse than ever.
Jack.
Yeah.
What happens now? Where do we go?
Gotta get a heater. Gotta find some place to lay out for a while. That takes dough. Everything takes dough. You got any left, Kitty?
A little.
How much?
300 or 400.
Good. That'll help some. Where you got it?
In my suitcase.
Good girl.
Jack, take the money and leave me here.
You kidding, baby?
No, take it.
What's the matter? You want to stay here?
I can't go through that all over again, Jack. I can't see them get you again. I can't.
What do you have to go through? I'm the one they're after. You talk like I don't mean anything to you.
If you didn't mean anything to me, would you be here now? Would you have those cuffs off?
Yeah, I'm sorry, kid. Guess I wouldn't.
Am I crazy, Jack? Why do I see only good in you? Everybody else sees bad. If they're right, I'm crazy.
I guess you only see what you want to see. Let them think I'm bad. What do you care?
Do you want me with you, Jack?
I gotta have you along, baby. You're my insurance. They take one look at the two of us together and nobody's suspicious. We can go any place and do anything. We're just an ordinary couple of people.
That's not much of a reason for me.
Oh, look, kid, you know you count first all the time, but I think for the next couple of weeks I can't do much traveling. I gotta light someplace and stay there.
Where?
Well, how about Kansas? Your sister's place.
No, Jack. I don't want to get her mixed up in it.
Who does want her mixed up in it? It's a big farm and far away from everything. You said she needs help since her husband died.
You won't like a farm. You'll get restless.
What do you think I was raised on? You wrote Nora you were married. Writer, you're bringing your husband for a visit.
All right. That's what you want.
We can stay there until I get my bearings. Yeah, maybe it'd be a good idea to cool off on a farm. Rotten stuff. Hey, who needs it?
Dad,
Yeah?
I brought you back some cigarettes from town.
Thanks. Wish you might have let me know you were going. I've been having a wonderful time here pitching hay.
Well, you were still sleeping, and I didn't want to wake you. You got in so late.
All right, Kitty, so I got in late.
Besides, with Nora and the kids, there would have been room in the car.
Nora and the kids are making me sick. I had all of this farming I can take.
3 weeks isn't so long, and they're still looking for you. They're looking for you hard.
Let them look. Any jail would be better than breaking your back on this kind of work.
Where'd you go last night?
What do you care?
Well, you didn't get in till so late.
Okay, I didn't get in till late. I went to mail a letter.
Oh, I see.
It's to Harry Porter in Omaha. Want him to line up somebody for me. Good gunman.
Then we're leaving here?
Haven't you had enough?
I guess you have. There's big news in town, Jack.
Yeah?
The State Bank at Cackley was broken into last night.
Oh. What do you want me to do about it?
You promised, Jack. You promised you lay low and stay out of things.
I don't go in for safe crackings. I'm a gunman.
How did you know the safe was cracked? I didn't say it.
Oh, don't all banks have safes? Hey, what are you trying to make me walk into?
You were out late and there's no place to go.
I never broke into any place before. That's not my line.
The talk is it was an amateur job.
Forget it. It had nothing to do with the thing. Now, let me get finished up here.
Yeah, Jack. That'd be a good idea. Oh, Nora wants to fix supper early. She's taking the kids over to the McLaughlin later.
Yeah, the kids, they give me a pain in the neck. Go on, let me get some hay pitched.
Hello, Sheriff.
Oh, Haynes. Anything new?
Sheriff, this is Special Agent Dyer, also of the FBI. He was sent down from the Kansas City field office to help out in the investigation, Sheriff Blaney. How are you, Sheriff?
Glad to have you, Dyer. We need all the help we can get.
Have you been able to turn up anything, Sheriff?
Well, like you suggested, it could have been somebody local. I had my deputies checking up with the people around here.
Anybody suspicious?
You know how it is. We know most everybody in the county. Known them for years. There's a few people we might check into, though.
Oh?
For instance, out at Lem's garage on the Topeka Road. Lem took on a new mechanic, a stranger, a week or 10 days ago. Might talk to him.
We could?
And then there's that new couple out at the Widow Emmett's, Jack Rogers and his wife. She's Nora Emmett's sister. Been there about 3 weeks. Haven't seen much of him, but she's been around with Nora and the kids.
Was there anything suspicious about this Jack Rogers?
Well, no, can't say there is. Got a car and seems to have money. The Emmets are good people.
We'll have a look at them, too.
And there's 3 or 4 others. I've got them listed here.
All right, Sheriff. We'll check on everybody beginning tomorrow, just to play safe.
Kitty! Kitty!
In here, Jack. In the kitchen.
Fine out, Rod. Where are you when I want you?
I'm just fixing lunch for the kids.
Hey, what are you, a nursemaid or something? Let Nora take care of her own kids.
She went to town.
What, again? Does she have to go to town every day? She's been living the life of Riley since we came. I pitch the hay, you take care of the kids. What is this?
After all, Jack, she's been awfully nice to us.
Well, let her get a couple of hired hands. We're pulling out anyway, as soon as I hear from Harry Porter.
Jack, you promised you'd stay until the heat's off. You promised me.
Well, I had enough farming.
Car.
Nora?
No. She said she wouldn't be back till 6.
Take a look out the window. Who is it?
Not Nora. It's a man.
Cop.
I'll talk to him, Jack. I'll send him away.
Where are the kids?
Upstairs.
Go up and keep them there. I'll handle this.
Be careful. Please be careful.
Go up and take care of the kids.
Let me talk to him.
I'll handle it.
Jack,
Let go.
you're not going to use that gun.
I got it, yeah, and I'll get up there. I'm going to meet him on the porch. You get up with the kids. Yeah, mister, what can I do for you?
I want to talk to Jack Rogers.
I'm Jack Rogers.
Oh, my name's Dyer. I'm a special agent of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
That's so.
I understand you...
You understand too much.
Rogers!
Jack, you shot him.
Sure, I shot him. I told you I wasn't going back.
What are you going to do? They knew we came here. There must be more of them
What do you
around.
think I'm going to do? I'm getting out the back way.
All right, Jack, I'll get ready.
No, kid. This time I have to travel light. I'll get in touch with you.
But I want to go.
There's no time. They got nothing on you, kitty. Don't tell them a thing. You don't know a thing.
I won't tell him anything.
Goodbye. I'll see you.
So, Don, that was the situation. The criminal, John Frederick Benson, shot and critically wounded an agent of the Federal Bureau of Investigation who attempted to question him. Benson fled the scene and left the girl, Kitty, alone to face the other law enforcement officers. When Sheriff Laney and Special Agent Haynes arrived, they placed Kitty in custody and rushed Special Agent Dyer to a hospital. Later, at the sheriff's office, the girl was being questioned by the officers in their attempt to get a lead on the whereabouts of Benson.
I'm telling you, I don't know where he is. I don't.
You traveled all over the country with Benson. You were at the farm together 3 weeks. He must have mentioned where he counted on going when he left.
We were going to stay for a while. There wasn't any thought of leaving.
The FBI agent he shot might die.
I know. I'm sorry.
Being sorry doesn't help much.
If you want to help, tell us where he went.
I don't know.
He must have given some indication.
I don't know where he went. Please believe me, I don't.
All right, miss. That's all.
You mean I can go?
Yes, you can go.
Now?
Yes.
As much as we'd like to hold you, there's no charge we can place against you.
I see.
Have you got any place to go?
Back to the farm, I guess. For a while. Then I don't know.
All right. If we need you, we'll be in touch.
I'm sorry I couldn't help you more.
So are we. Well, Sheriff, she's on her way.
I hope you get something out of it, Haynes. Me, when I get somebody that belongs in jail, I like to keep him there.
Sheriff, Benson's a lot more important than she is. And if he knows she's out, maybe he'll arrange to see her.
Hi. Well, Jack, ain't it? What do you care? What are you drinking? I'll buy you another. One of mine. The name's Meggs. Harry Porter said I might find you here. Yeah? How is Harry? Okay. Is his ear still giving him trouble? It's not his ear, it's his stomach. That's right. It is his stomach. He said you was looking for somebody to go in business with. Maybe I am, but not here in Omaha. I'm free to travel. Meggs, huh? That's it. Gun boy? Nothing else. Okay, I'll think about it. I gotta think about it too, Jack. You're a pretty hot customer. There's not many who shoot up G-men and are walking on the street to talk about it. I never talk about it, especially in bars. It's a nice, quiet place. Let's go for a ride. There's not so many years in automobiles. Come on.
Special Agent Haynes.
Haynes, this is Marshall. We just got a teletype message from Minneapolis. The girl, Kitty, got there on the train this morning and bought a bus ticket to St. North Dakota.
St. huh? Benson's got relatives there.
Yeah, I know. We're already watching him.
Okay, let's move in a little closer. Get plane reservations for Minneapolis. We'll work out of there.
Okay, Megs, you'll do. Thanks, Coach. I never thought I'd make it. Look, if there's one thing I don't like, it's wise guys. Take it easy on the cracks and take it easy on the talking. What's eating you, Jack? If a guy's got no sense of humor, he's got nothing. I got nothing to laugh about. It's strictly business, Megs, and remember that. Okay. Well, when do we get started? Ever worked the Dakotas? Dakotas? What's up there? Plenty. You know where to find it? Why take such a trip? I've got a way of operating, Megs. It includes having a girl along. Make things look good. The girl I want along is up there. Ah, yeah, that's not a bad idea. I got a girl, too. One's enough. Yeah, one's enough. As long as she's yours. If you don't want it my way, Megs, you can get out right here. Okay, all right. You got a traveling companion. Don't get excited.
That's the house, Haynes. Kitty moved in the day before yesterday. We got a mail check on the place. No letters from Benson.
Well, what about the phone?
Well, that's going to give us some trouble.
What kind of trouble?
Benson, you know.
Oh, stop and light a cigarette. I want a better look at the place.
It so happens that Benson's aunt is the night operator. I didn't want to plant anyone in the exchange. If she spots him, it might queer the works.
Okay. But keep agents posted around the exchange every minute the aunt is on duty.
Will do. The manager of the exchange has no connection with Benson.
Good. I don't think Benson will have nerve enough to come right to the house. He might figure it's covered. But I'm almost certain he'll try to get in touch with Kitty. And if he does, we want to know about it. Come on.
Hello?
Kitty?
Jack.
I want to make this short and sweet, baby. I'm close. I'm going to come by for you.
Jack, maybe walking to...
It'll work. Is my aunt home?
No. She went to see a friend before work.
Okay, I'll get in touch with her when I get in. She'll tell you where to meet me.
Be careful, Jack. Be careful.
Don't worry about me. I'll be all right. I want to get off this line. So long.
Goodbye.
Okay, Meg, let's get out of here.
Sit down, will you, Jack? Let me finish my drink.
All right, make it snappy.
Who you calling, that dame?
Yeah.
She got a friend?
She don't live in this town.
Oh. Well, who cares if she's got a friend? Hey, when do we get this baby yours and where? I'm getting curious.
You don't have long to wait now. You ever heard of a little place called Sainish?
Should I have?
We're driving there right now.
Good, good.
That's where we take on our extra passenger. Now get finished up. We got 50 miles to drive.
Okay, okay.
Haynes?
Yes?
The manager of the local telephone exchange just got in touch with me.
Oh?
There was a call to Kitty. It came through from Bismarck.
From Benson?
He doesn't know. He just saw the ticket. He happened to go by the office, and the ticket had just been filed.
Is Benson's aunt on duty at the board?
No, she's not scheduled to come on for another hour.
Okay. We'll get in touch with the police at Bismarck to be on the lookout for Benson there. And we'll keep a double watch here in town all night. Crossman and Gould on the house, you and I at the telephone exchange where we can cover any more calls.
So this is Sainish, huh?
Yeah, this is Sainish.
I can see why you left it at such an early age, Jack. What do people do around here for excitement?
They sleep. Watch where you're driving there. Stop sign.
I see it.
Okay, go on.
Stop sign they need there. Why, to see the cows coming?
That's the telephone exchange in the middle of the block.
And your aunt's got to stay on duty all night? Makes calls around here at night.
Pull in over there.
Okay. Why don't we go to the dame's house?
I'm doing this. All right, turn off the lights.
Okay. Hey, what do you need a gun for here?
I didn't need it back in Kansas either, but I used it. Come on.
I'll wait here.
Come on, I said.
Okay.
All right, we'll go around the back.
What's the matter with the front? Nobody's there but your aunt.
We'll go around the back.
Well, there's trouble to see a dame.
Come on, shut up.
That's far enough, Ben.
Cops, get him!
Shoot at him.
Hey, I got that. Okay, take it easy. Where did the bullets catch Benson?
The heart, I guess. He's dead. Okay. Wait here till the coroner comes. I'll take care of this one. Go on, you. Start walking.
Okay, I'm walking.
Just a minute. I'm coming. Oh,
Hello, Kitty.
he's not here. I swear he isn't.
I know he isn't. 2 a.m. and you're all dressed. You weren't expecting to go out.
I was up reading.
Oh, I thought you might be going out to meet Benson.
That's not so.
It is so, Kitty. And you know it.
What do you want? You can't come in here.
And I came to tell you, Kitty. Benson's dead.
Oh, no.
He tried to fight us. All right, you better come along with me.
He wasn't bad. Not really. He was good to me, honest he was. He was good to me.
I don't doubt it, Kitty. But being good to you wasn't enough. Not nearly enough. He wasn't very good to his victims, nor to the FBI agent he shot. Come on, let's go.
That, Don, was the end of one of the most intensive manhunts in recent years. John Frederick Benson died by the gun, the way he expected to thrive. And the same finish faces any man who thinks he's bigger than the law which governs all of us.
Thank you very much, United States Attorney Anderson, for this pointed case history. And gangbusters, congratulations to all the law enforcement officers who participated in the investigation leading to the conclusion of this case. Tonight's case was dramatized by Stanley Niss and directed by William Sweets, with Ken Lynch and Charlotte Lawrence in leading roles. Don Gardner speaking. Gangbusters is a Phillips H. Lord production.
They are brought to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the same time by Quaker Puffed Wheat and Quaker Puffed Rice, the breakfast cereal shot from guns. Remember, for delicious hot breakfast, enjoy Quaker Oats. The giant of the cereals is Quaker Oats. Delicious, nutritious, makes you feel ambitious. So make your hot breakfast nourishing Quaker Oats. Quaker and Mother's Oats are the same.
Get this and get it straight. Crime doesn't pay, which was the motto of our next broadcast from the pen of Raymond Chandler. The first show aired on NBC in June 1947. And then in 1948, the series moved to CBS, where it was renamed. For 114 episodes, the CBS version ran and ended in September 1950. It was a more hard-boiled program than many of the other private detective shows at the time, containing few quips or quaint characters. We're proud to present to you the adventures of Philip Marlowe, right here on HOJO Radio.
It was a hunt through a jungle of city streets, with danger waiting at every intersection, until halfway through when the hunters became the hunted, and death brought an end to the game.
From the pen of Raymond Chandler, outstanding author of crime fiction, comes his most famous character as CBS presents The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. Now, with Gerald Moore, starred as Philip Marlowe, we bring you tonight's exciting story, The Grim Hunters.
The morning paper had headlined prices rising. My bank statement in the afternoon mail had warned balance falling, and I had wasted the evening on behalf of a client who ran out on me when I tried to collect. All of which added up to the end of the day and me unhappy in my office at 10 p.m., with one hand on my checkbook and the other one raised in almost solemn oath. I, Philip Marlowe, private detective and too often public servant, hereby resolve to one way or another jockey my budget into something close to equilibrium. And from this day Hello, Marlowe speaking.
My name is Helen Palmer, Marlowe. I need your help badly.
Yeah, but look,
I'm up at 8700 Magnolia Terrace in the Hollywood Hills. Now, please, drop whatever you're doing and No. No!
I must have let go of the phone, grabbed my hat and coat, opened and closed the office door, piled into my car outside, and raced up into the Hollywood Hills because the next thing I remember after Helen Palmer's scream was swinging off North Bronson Drive onto Magnolia Terrace. But a minute later, when I screeched to a stop away from number 8700, scrambled out from under the wheel and started on the run for the front door, I was no longer sure of anything. Because the house in question, a stock southern mansion complete with stable boy statue in the gravel driveway, which according to the book should have been as dark and as quiet as the inside of a coffin, was anything else but. And when I got to the oversized bronze door knocker and dropped it hard, I was beginning to doubt that I had the right address.
Can I be of some assistance, sir?
I don't know. I'm looking for a woman named Helen Palmer who called me at my office. Said she needed help. And a second after that, she
Screamed, huh? Tell me, sir, what is your name and occupation?
In that order, Philip Marlowe, private detective.
Good for Helen, good for
Happy, aren't you? What's going on here? What is this?
Why, it's a party, sir. A scavenger hunt. It looks like Helen Palmer's the
Now,
winner.
wait a minute, laughing boy. I had a call that was interrupted by pistol shots, and
All just part of the play, sir.
Yeah, Helen Palmer had to bring back one private detective.
Yeah, you see, Marlowe, each list, aside from the usual hard-to-find objects, had a human being on it.
That's right. I had to bring back a Hoover vacuum cleaner salesman, and believe it or not, he's already sold our good host, Thaddeus Grover, the deluxe model.
Yes, sir, he did it bad. You see, Mr. Marlowe, Helen Palmer wasn't permitted to actually hire you. That's why she had to pretend to be in trouble.
with the net result that I nearly broke my neck getting up here. Mr. Grover, where is Miss Palmer?
Well, I don't know for sure, Marlowe. She called just a bit ago and said that she only had to catch on to you and one other item and would be back after that.
Which makes her the winner, Mr. Marlowe, because none of us did better than half our list. By the by, you don't happen to have the breech lock of a 57-millimeter anti-tank gun with you.
At the moment, no. Nor do I have time for scavenger hunters.
Not even when they most cordially invite you in for the finest serving of party-style Southern fried chicken imaginable. Come on, Mr. Marlowe.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
It's delicious chicken.
Well, okay, the chicken did it. The inside of Thaddeus Grover's house was also a stock southern mansion from a giant cut glass punch bowl. Belonged to my mother, sir, First Lady of Atlanta, Georgia, sir, to a wide and winding colonial staircase. It left you expecting the descent of Scarlett O'Hara at any moment. There was one strange note in the soft southern surroundings. Piled 3 feet high in the middle of the room were the crazy quilt results of the evening scavenger hunt, including a wooden cigar store Indian, a pair of Hickok suspenders from the local fire chief, one red motorcycle, a stuffed owl, a set of antlers, and more. And behind all that, my counterparts, the bringing back alive items from each list. A streetcar conductor in uniform, a waiter bald and under 40, a school teacher red-headed and over 50. But I was the center of attention. For Thaddeus introduced one after another of the guests to the genuine, 100% non-shrinkable private detective.
And now, Mr. Marlowe, sir, a very special friend of mine. At 31, sir, the president of Sample and Claiborne, best building contractors in the city of Los Angeles.
Oh, that's so very interesting, Mr. Grover.
Yeah, moreover, Mr. Marlowe, Sample made it right to the top in the past 2 years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, ever since old Joshua Claiborne got killed falling off a scaffold.
He did.
Cause between you and me and the gatepost, some folks say it was suicide. Oh, Larry, I'd like you to meet Mr. Marlowe, private detective. Mr. Marlowe, Larry Sample.
How do you do?
Hello, Mr. Marlowe. Glad you're with us. Thaddeus, has Rhonda called in yet? Last time I heard from her was when we split our list in two, and she headed out after a Latin American rumba team.
Well, if she went after a boy, she'll bring her back. That's Rhonda Langley we're speaking of, Mr. Marlowe, Larry's lady friend.
Oh?
Nicest person I know. Except, of course, my fiancée, Helen.
Helen is in Palmer, my patron, Mr. Grover.
Yes, sir, one and the same, sir. Well, we certainly have a lot of fun, even if we don't make much money, huh, Marlowe?
Yeah, you certainly... Mr. Grover, did you say money?
Most surely did, boy. You know, dollars and cents.
Yes. Well, gentlemen, you'll excuse me, please, but I do have to run. Good night, Mr. Sample. And Mr. Grover, sir, it's been a distinct pleasure, sir. I bid you goodbye, sir.
Goodbye, sir. You're a card.
When I got back to my office, which I had left lights on and unlocked, my telephone was ringing. At this late hour, gullible me took faint hope that it could be a client who might still save the day. When I picked up the receiver...
Marlowe?
I let go of that straw fast.
Marlowe?
It was Detective Lieutenant Ibarra.
Marlowe, do you know a girl named Helen Palmer?
Hey, Ibarra, don't tell me there's a pair of somewhat flat feet on the ladies' scavenger hunt list.
Very funny, Phil. Now, do you know her?
No, not beyond a panic telephone call that ended in a make-believe scream and a couple of pistol shots. All designed to bring me running to a party at 8700 Magnolia Terrace.
Mm-hmm. Well, that adds all right, because the only items not checked off a list are a night watchman's badge and one detective private, which must be you, since your name is circled in the classified directory here in this phone booth.
Here in what phone booth? Where are you, Ibarra?
At a closed filling station on Van Ness off Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Why is the girl's list there with you?
Because it's clenched in her right hand, Phil. And she's folded up on the floor of this booth. Dead.
Oh, no.
2 bullet holes in her back.
Oh, yeah, but Ibarra, her call was a gag.
The shots weren't. Anyhow, it looks like a stick-up since the lady's purse is gone and a wino we picked up saw what he calls a curly-headed guy with short legs do it and run. Also, the wino says that the murderer had been hanging around for a couple of hours like he was looking for a well-to-do prospect.
Yeah, I know, but it's still kind of strange. Me getting that call, I mean. Well, I'll drop around to headquarters tomorrow morning, Lieutenant, if you need any statement from me.
I think you'd better make that tonight, Phil. At the 8700 address. I'm sending Mooney up there now.
Oh, but wait a minute, Ibarra. You don't need me, and I do need business. If you think I'm going to get it by...
Phil.
Huh?
Phil, let's say that I'd appreciate it if you'd show for a few minutes. Okay?
No. Well, okay, a few minutes. Just so long as you appreciate it. Goodbye. Driving back to Magnolia Terrace, I used Detective Lieutenant Ibarra as an oversized whipping boy for the day's disappointments. So when I finally braked to a stop behind a half-parked squad car, which meant that Police Officer Mooney was already on hand, I was about back to normal. But then in the next quick moment, I forgot all about Ibarra because in the shadows ahead, sneaking away from a side entrance to number 8700, and looking as guilty as Lucretia Borgia leaving a corner pharmacy, was a young lady, brunette and beautiful. She hurried directly to a gray Nash parked in the rear and, without looking back, climbed in and took off. Following her had to be more fun than conversation with Mooney. 10 minutes later, the lady came to a stop in front of a dark, politely landscaped cottage on North Ogden Drive. In another 2, she was inside and the light was on. When I got to the front door and leaned against the bell, a card over it said that this could be one Rhonda Langley, Mr. Larry Sample's girlfriend. But that same card also gave another name, Helen Palmer, the lady dead in the booth. I rang again. When the door opened, it was the brunette, still beautiful. Only this time something had been added. In her right hand, a .45, ugly and pointed straight at my head.
What do you want?
One straight answer, Miss Langley. Why did you run away from 8700 Magnolia Terrace? And a cop with routine questions.
Wait a minute. Who are you? How do you know my name?
I'm a private detective, labeled Philip Marlowe. Item number 8 on the late Miss Palmer's list. And I know about you because I've already been to Thaddeus Grover's party. Now, after you put this gun away, we'll get back to my question. Why'd you run? Come on, talk, lady, now before I yell copper.
Well, all right. Come in.
Thanks.
Mr. Marlowe, I don't think Helen Palmer's murder was any run-of-the-mill robbery.
You don't think what?
I stayed just long enough to hear the policeman say Helen had been killed.
Oh. When I got to your welcome mat, I was greeted with a .45. Talk some more, Miss Langley. Real plain
Well, all
like,
right,
huh?
give me half a chance, will you? I didn't say anything to the police about this because I don't want to do any damage before I'm sure about a few things.
Like what?
Like the kind of a mess that Helen was in. Mr. Marlowe, I need help. I've got to know some facts. Please, will you work for me? I'll pay you anything.
Well, at this point, let's call anything 25 a day in expenses, huh? What about Helen and the mess you spoke of? How much do you know?
Very little. Only that I think Helen was blackmailing somebody. Somebody who was at the party tonight.
Like Grover, your boyfriend, Larry Sample?
I don't know. Oh, you've got to believe me, Mr. Marlowe.
Well, all right. For the time being, I will. Now, first of all, how'd you latch onto this blackmail?
Well, yesterday morning, I accidentally overheard Helen talking to someone on the telephone. She spoke of a payoff that was to be made at Thaddeus's party. I don't know who she was talking to, but she warned the person not to try anything rash.
As in murder?
She didn't say. But she did say that she'd already airmailed a letter to her lawyers in San Francisco that would protect her from any harm. And she laughed about the scheduled scavenger hunt and hung up.
Mm-hmm. You said nothing to her about this, huh?
Well, no, I I was afraid...
All right, the letter to San Francisco. Did you see him mail it?
Well, I mailed it myself earlier in the day, along with one of my own.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about it until after her call, when she pointedly asked me if I'd remembered to mail a letter. My letter, that is, which she knew that I'd written to an aunt I have in Passaic, New Jersey.
Well?
Well, that's the whole story. If you want me, I'll be over at Thaddeus's place.
Thaddeus?
Yes, he was in love with Helen.
Yeah. Maybe she was returning that love with blackmail. What do you think, Rhonda?
I don't know. The thinking is now your job, Mr. Marlowe.
When I left Rhonda Langley and started back to my car as a bona fide private detective with client, I wasn't sure whether or not I was happy about the whole thing. But a second later, at the sight of a man in the dark ahead, half crouched behind a tree, I quit deliberating the point and got ready for trouble because, from what I could see, the gentleman in hiding had both the curly hair and very short legs that Ibarra had mentioned as a sign of Helen Palmer's killer. I kept walking straight until I was abreast the tree, and then I pivoted sharply, took one step toward him, and swung! Come on, brother.
Why, you dirty... We haven't got the time. They believe me.
Enough, fella. Enough. Will you leave me alone?
Sure. Sure I will.
After you start talking. Now, get up.
Okay. Okay, don't hit me again. I'll talk. I'll tell you everything. Hey, look there. No, don't! Oh, that lousy note.
In just a moment, we will return to the second act of The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. But first, you can do a lot of singing for $14,500, so they say. And tonight, some CBS listener may be able to speak with authority on the subject because $14,500 is what's waiting for whoever can solve the mystery behind the new Phantom Voice on CBS's great Saturday night quiz game, Sing It Again. Listeners from coast to coast will be quizzed by telephone about the new Phantom's identity. And they'll also be given a chance to win one of the other famous prizes for solving the riddle songs which feature Sing It Again's hour of Saturday night fun. Here's Sing It Again on most of these same CBS network stations tonight and every Saturday night. Now, with our star, Gerald Moore, we return to the second act of Philip Marlowe and tonight's story, The Grim Hunters.
The shots crashed out of the darkness. The life ran out of the little man like air from a kid's balloon. I couldn't figure exactly where the shots had come from, and I stopped trying when a pair of spiked heels clicked fast across the concrete driveway between me and the house. Then a motor started, and a second later a car roared by with Rhonda Langley at the wheel. I yelled at her to stop as she went by, and ran out in the street after her and yelled again at the retreating car. But she ignored me. When another car came around the curve behind me, I tried to flag it down, but the driver didn't even slow up. So I just stood there while the two cars twisted out of sight down the winding street, leaving nothing but silence and a lot of unanswered questions hanging in midair. I walked back to the corpse, went over it carefully. But there was no identification, nothing but a gun to indicate how he fitted into the screwy mosaic of murder, scavenging, and blackmail. I went inside to call Ibarra, and 5 minutes of tracers, relays, and busy signals went by before I finally got through to him with my news about Helen Palmer's killer.
What? Where are you, Marlowe?
In a house on Ogden Drive, 4310 North. Was shared by Helen Palmer and my new client, Rhonda Langley.
Uh-huh. Did she kill my suspect, Marlowe?
Could be. She left here in a big hurry. Another thing, Ibarra, there's more behind this business than robbery.
Like what?
Like blackmail.
Maybe so. We just found the Palmer's girl handbag in a trash can. Nothing left but a lipstick and 2 letters. Incidentally, one is addressed to your client, Rhonda Langley.
That figures. They shared the house, so Helen happened to pick up the day's mail. What's the other letter?
It was one returned for insufficient postage. They forgot that airmail is 6 cents these days.
Return? Wait a minute. Is that letter addressed to a law firm in San Francisco?
No, it's addressed to Sophie Kilberty.
Sophie Kill who?
Kilberty of Passaic, New Jersey. Why?
Well, Ibarra, listen. Helen was blackmailing somebody, and she covered herself by mailing a letter to her lawyers in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
If that letter was returned for insufficient postage and the blackmail victim knew it, he'd have no qualms about killing her, right?
Sure, but the letters were in Helen's purse.
Oh.
Don't you think she'd have known her protection was gone? Phil, I'm going to put out a pickup call on your client. And you get on down here so we can go over this mess one step at a time.
Where's here?
Still at the gas station on Van Ness off Hollywood Boulevard.
Okay, Barra. How long are you going to be there?
Just until Thaddeus Grover shows up to identify the body and give me some answers personally about that scavenger hunt he threw tonight.
What about this curly-headed corpse I've got here?
Have you gone over him?
Yeah. Nothing but a gun, some small bills on him.
Then he'll keep. I'll expect you in a few minutes.
Okay, so long, Ibarra. When I put down the phone, I was convinced that a big switch was due any minute because finding those letters in Helen Palmer's purse made a lot of sense in one direction and not a bit in another. I could have made more heads and tails by flipping a ball bearing than I got out of the facts Ibarra had given me. Just then, the shadow of a man slid up the walk. I heard a pair of feet mount the stairs, 2 at a time. It was the Wonder Boy executive I'd met at the party. Better hold it right there, Sample.
What? Marlowe. Why the gun?
So the same thing won't happen to me that happened to the dead little guy outside?
Another murder? Marlowe, where's Rhonda? Is she all right?
She left here as fast as an 8-cylinder motor wide open could move just after it happened.
Then it was Rhonda I saw. On my way over here, a speeding car almost crowded me off the road. It looked like Rhonda's, but I wasn't sure. And Marlowe, she was being chased by another car, a fast one.
Chased, are you sure?
Yes. The first car missed me by inches when it swung around a curve. I don't know yet how she made it. Then a second car came along and passed the curve, but it stopped, backed up, and then took the same road Rhonda had taken.
You think she got away?
I don't know.
Well, come on outside, Sample. I want you to take a look at this. By the way, how long have you known Rhonda?
About a year. She's a brilliant girl, Marlowe. Came out from the East, and I gave her a job as my secretary.
She's more than that now, huh?
I'm in love with her, if that's what you mean.
Yeah. Oh, here it is.
Well, Marlowe, I know this man. That's Nate Murdoch. He used to be a foreman with our firm. He left and went back to Atlanta right after Claiborne's death.
Atlanta? Isn't your host Thaddeus Grover from Atlanta?
Yes, he is.
Oh, brother. When did you see Grover last?
Well, the police asked him to go and identify Helen's body. He left the party while the officer was still questioning the rest of us.
Yeah, and on the way he could have taken time off to drop by here, kill Murdoch, and make a try for Rhonda, too. Come on, let's get to the phone.
But why, Marlowe? Good heavens, Grover's our friend. He and Helen were engaged to be married.
All right, so it doesn't make sense. But his fiancée and his short friend from Atlanta are both dead. And Rhonda's burning the tires off a car to keep out of reach. Those are the facts. It'll make sense later. I'll call Grover's place and hurry up.
Yes.
That's where she intended to go when she left here, to console him, no less. Scavenger hunt my Aunt Minnie.
Hello? Hello, is Mr. Grover there? No? Well, has Miss Langley arrived yet? Oh, it's the maid, Marlowe. Rhonda had... What's that? She's coming up the walk now? Hold the line a minute, please. She just got there, Marlowe. What'll I tell her?
Tell her to leave again. Tell her... No. Where do you live?
4406 Ardmore.
All right. Tell her I said for her to wait outside in the back of the house until you can get over there to pick her up. Take her to your place, and I'll pin Grover down.
Right. Where are you going now?
See Lieutenant Ibarra, and I can get there faster than I can call him on the phone. Good luck, Sample. Sample was repeating my name over to Grover's maid on the phone as I left. And a few minutes later, at the mobile gas station off Hollywood Boulevard, I found Ibarra looking sardonic in the blinking light from a flying red neon horse above his head as he flipped through a stack of papers on top of an oil drum.
It's about time, Arlo. Where's that client of yours?
Now, wait a minute, Ibarra. I had her pegged all wrong. She's a pigeon. Has Thaddeus Grover been here yet?
Just left. He's quite a character, that guy.
You didn't let him get away alone?
Yes, he was... What do you mean, get away?
Ibarra, there's a big connection between Thaddeus Grover and Murdoch, the guy who killed Helen. Now, Grover might have hired him for the job, and now he's trying to get Rhonda.
Now, Marlowe, how does that figure?
It doesn't, but to help me, Ibarra, that's the way it is.
Well, Grover was heading for his friend Larry Sample's house, and he left. Happened to know where Sample...
Holy smoke, that's exactly where I told Sample to take the girl. 4406 Ardmore.
Well, that's great, Marlowe. They'll all be together in one place. I'll pick up the whole crew in right now.
You're going to pick up the pieces, you mean?
You think there'll be a showdown?
Any minute, Ibarra, it can't miss.
Okay, so we'll take some firepower along. Hemigolda, Gray, let's go. Come on, Phil.
Now, look, Ibarra, maybe Sample hasn't gotten home with Rhonda yet. I'll go up to Grover's and try to head them off, okay?
Okay, Marlowe. But if you get them before I do, bring them in, and no alibis. I'll see you.
Ibarra was grim as he climbed in his car and drove off fast. I headed for my car. Then, as I turned, my arm swept the scavenger list Ibarra had left on the oil drum off onto the ground. When I picked them up, Rhonda Langley's name was on top. Her list was as goony as the others, but near the bottom was an item strangely familiar to me, which hadn't been checked off. It was a canceled ticket from Woodhaven Ballroom. All at once, I realized why it was familiar. The sign I'd been half conscious of on top of the big squat building across the street read, Woodhaven Ballroom, closed tonight. On a hunch, I dug for Helen Palmer's list. Yeah, Ibarra was right. Everything but a night watchman's badge and one detective private had been checked off. And that gave me half of the switch I knew I had to show up. I ran to my car and headed for that southern mansion in the Hollywood Hills, the end of a very complicated frolic. And with every turn of the road, I gave myself another whack for being such a nearsighted sucker. When I got there, the big house on Magnolia Terrace was dark, except for a light in the servants' quarters. I stepped down the block, walked back, and edged around to the patio where the garage, the hothouse, and the king-size barbecue loomed only as shapeless lumps of shadow. I stood still and watched. Then I saw him move, walking slowly, gun in hand along the fence toward the hothouse. I started toward him quietly, just as he found out what he was looking for.
Oh, you're clever, my dear. But it's all over now. I know you're in there, so come on out with your hands up.
Oh, no. You're hanging yourself for murder right now, Larry Sample. I've got all the proof I need.
I don't know what good it'll do you, Rhonda. I'll never pay you a cent for it, you blackmailing tramp. I'll kill you first. And that protection letter you wrote to your lawyers was returned, darling. I found it accidentally in Helen's purse tonight at the party. So no one will know. Now, come on out, or I'm going in after you.
I wouldn't try that if I were you, Sample. Marlowe's due here any minute now. He called me and told me.
That was I, dear.
You?
I used his name when I talked to the maid. Oh, I should have done this myself in the first place instead of trusting that stupid Murdoch. Are you going to come out of there?
No, and I've got a gun.
You can't see me, and I know it. But your white dress makes a perfect target, you little fool.
Drop it, Sample. Now let's have that gun.
Marlowe, I'm so glad you got here.
No, he's not dead.
Oh.
And he won't be, from bullets. Give me your gun, too, huh? Come on.
All right. I was too scared to use it anyway.
Thanks. Now sit down and shut up. We're going to wait for Lieutenant Ibarra, then you're both going to the pokey.
What? But...
Listen, you, I don't go for blackmailers, male or female. Even the cute ones are ugly, lady. Very ugly.
No, Phil, wait. You've got to understand something. 2 years ago, Larry Sample killed his partner, Joshua Claiborne. I knew it, but I couldn't prove it. So I pretended I could and blackmailed him. Don't you see, if he paid off or tried to kill me, that would be proof of his guilt. And he did, Marlowe.
Mm-hmm. Why should you pull a stunt like that?
I'm a divorcee, Marlowe. Langley is only my married name.
Okay, so what?
My maiden name was Claiborne.
Claiborne?
I'm Josh Claiborne's daughter.
Oh.
And I can prove that. Is that reason enough?
Well, why didn't you level with me instead of labeling Helen a blackmailer?
Helen was already dead, and I needed your help desperately. I thought I had to lie to get it. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, baby.
Anyone care for more coffee? How about you, Lieutenant?
Oh, no thanks, Mr. Grover. Well, Marlowe, you got it all to come out even anyway. Frankly, that's more than I expected when I left you at that gas station.
Yeah, we were lucky, Ibarra. I guess I owe you an apology, Mr. Grover.
Oh, Chuck, that's all right, son. It was a shock to me to be accused of poor Helen's murder, but, well, it's over now.
Yeah.
You said it was the scavenger list that set you straight. How'd you figure that, boy?
Well, there was a Woodhaven ballroom ticket on Rhonda's list, so she had to go there for the ticket, you see.
Uh-huh.
Now, Sample knew that. And he told his killer, Murdoch, who incidentally he hired to murder Claiborne 2 years ago, that the girl who went to the Woodhaven ballroom was his target.
Uh-huh.
But Helen happened to go there after the night watchman's badge.
Which he could have picked up any place in town.
Yeah.
What a terrible coincidence for Helen. But that was all that saved my life, really.
That's right, honey. Murdoch made the mistake, and when he and Sample discovered it, they made another try at Rhonda's house. But I caught Murdoch there, so Sample shot him before he could talk.
And when I left, he followed me in his car. I knew they were after me, and I thought for sure they'd killed you, Phil. That's why I ran.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop. Then Sample came back to make sure that Murdoch was dead and sold me a great big bill of goods at the same time.
Oh, it's a terrible, terrible thing.
Yes, Mr. Grover, it is.
Lieutenant, I want to thank you personally for your participation.
Thank you very much. Well, I've got everything I need, so I'll say good night.
Yeah, me too.
Phil,
Yeah?
shall I mail you a check?
Why, yes, I think... No, wait a minute.
Yes?
You know, honey, with your knowledge of postal rates, why don't you just deliver it in person, maybe? Huh?
Love to. Count on it, Mr. Marlowe. Good night.
I drove down from the Hollywood Hills with a check warming my wallet and the echo of a soft invitation warming my imagination. You know, that was quite a party at Grover's house. Scavenger hunt. People determined to have a good time even if it killed them. You know what? It did. I know another game. Associations. It goes like this. Grover's party. Rhonda Langley. Rhonda... date. I wonder if she likes baseball.
The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, created by Raymond Chandler, star Gerald Moore, and are produced and directed by Norman McDonald. Script is by Mel Donnelly, Robert Mitchell, and Gene Levitt. Featured in the cast were Ellen Reed, Mary Shipp, Jack Moyles, Richard Benedict, and Lorette Philbrandt. Lieutenant Detective Ibarra is played by Jeff Corey. The special music is by Richard Orant. Be sure and be with us again next week when Philip Marlowe says...
They were born on the same hour on the same day of the same parents, and they were identical in beauty and talent. Only one was deadly, and the other was not. And I couldn't tell which was which until I found a green purse, a fresh corpse, and a pair of dancing hands.
If you happened to miss Jack Benny's hilarious show last week featuring the Ronald Colemans, you missed the laugh treat of the year. But Jack will be back again tomorrow on these same CBS network stations with his entire gang, including Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, Don Wilson, and the Sportsman's Quartet. Invite some friends over. Sit back and enjoy the Jack Benny Show tomorrow. This is Roy Rowan speaking. This is CBS, where 99 million people gather every week, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Proven in over 2 million homes. Second, you get both AM and FM radio with RCA Victor's new extended tone range. And third, the Rutland gives you 2 automatic record changers that enable you to enjoy records at all 3 speeds. Yes, enjoy all of these fine instruments in one fine combination at one money-saving price. Look over the Rutland soon. And say, here are 2 new RCA Victor Red Seal releases to add to your collection. September Song, sung on a single record by Ezio Pinza, and the album of selections from Gershwin's Porgy and Bess with Reza Stevens and Robert Merrill.
Stay tuned to HOJO Radio.
They were born at the same hour on the same day of the same parents, and they were identical in beauty and talent. Only one was deadly, but the other was not. And I couldn't tell which was which until I found a green purse, a fresh corpse, and a pair of dancing hands.
From the pen of Raymond Chandler, outstanding author of crime fiction, comes his most famous character as CBS presents The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. Now, with Gerald Moore, starred as Philip Marlowe, we bring you tonight's exciting story, The Dancing Hands.
The telegram I found stuck in the mail slot when I got back to my office after a long and roundabout day read. Enclosed, find a $50 money order. I want you to investigate a man. A table is reserved for you at the Saddle Club where I work. Come in time for the second show at 11, important. It was signed Beth Tyler. So, at 11:15, with $50 worth of inspiration behind me, I drove over the Cahuenga Freeway and out Ventura to the Saddle Club, which pretended to be Old English by showing its beams through a flagstone facade. I went in the carefully rough-hewn oak door, and even before my eyes became adjusted to the cozy lack of candle power inside, Neil Redmond, owner and operator of the place, glided toward me, sporting his genial host smile, which tonight was even more forced than usual.
How are you, Marlowe? It's been a long time. Business a pleasure, Phil.
It's always a pleasure to come to the Saddle Club, Neil. I've even got a reservation.
You know my food better than that, Marlowe. Just don't let it get rough, will you? Come on, I'll find your table out front. I want you to see this show. A pair of twins in a twin piano act that's sensational.
Yeah?
Edie and Beth Tyler. Oh, here, how's this?
Fine.
Incidentally, Edie will be the one on the left.
Well, if they're twins, what's the difference?
Funny. Edie may be Mrs. Redmond one of these days.
Oh.
Redmond, but you are wanted on the phone, sir.
Get the number, George, and I'll call back.
This gentleman said you would talk to him, sir. It is Mr. Paul Cedar.
Paul Cedar? Oh, yeah. Excuse me, Marlowe. This is important. I better take you.
Redmond reacted to the name Cedar like a punch in the nose. But I figured that was none of my business, which was more than I could say for a flabby, dull-faced character at the next table, who followed the nightclub owner all the way out of the room with a pair of watery red eyes, which he deliberately avoided turning in my direction. But at that point, an MC stepped out on the stage, and so I stopped worrying about Flabby in favor of a first look at my client.
The Saddle Club is proud to present its second show of the evening, featuring the incomparable piano stylist Edie and Beth in Dancing Hands. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen. Bring them up.
The curtains parted on the stage, set with an oversized full-length mirror, which reflected a grand piano, a black vase of yellow flowers, and a tall brunette with a wry, crisp waistline, who touched up a piled-high hairdo, put on a pair of long black gloves, checked her hemline, and sat down at the piano. And she ran through an involved arpeggio while her reflection in the mirror looked on in admiration. It was an old but cute routine, and the illusion was perfect because the Tyler twins were practically identical. I took another look at Flabby, whose face was pushed up in a nasty leer. He stood up, dropped his cigarette into his drink, and tossed a crumpled bill down on the table, just as the lights went out for the trick part of the act. On the dark stage, two pairs of purple hands danced over two glowing silver keyboards, which would have been good except that the pair of hands on the right, which belonged to Beth, suddenly stopped in midair and hit blue notes like a 9-year-old at her first recital. When the lights came up again, my client's face was as white as Middle C, and the flabby character, oozing a victorious smile, was on his way to the door. Well, they wrapped it up fast after that, and Beth ran into the wings, leaving Edie to take the bow alone. The band took over in a hurry and brought things down to normal. So as couples moved down to the dance floor and George the waiter headed for my table, I sat back and waited for that message from my client.
Here you are, sir. Compliments of the house.
Oh, thanks. Any message with this?
No, sir. Just that Mr. Redman had to leave.
Oh, thanks, George. I sipped the double scotch and wondered if I should take the initiative and contact my client. When the message I'd been waiting for came, good and loud, I jumped up, shoved my way through the gaping dancers to the dressing room hallway behind the stage. A gang of club personnel was bunched in front of a door, obviously locked, labeled Edie and Beth Tyler.
It was one of the twins, wasn't it?
Hey, what's the matter?
It's one of the twins. She screamed. We got to get in. That door's locked.
Well, break it down.
But
Get out of the way.
It's Edie. It's Edie.
All right, now, wait a minute. Hold it. She's all right. Clear out and give her a chance. Come on. Outside, everybody. Beat it. That means you two. Come on. Out. Here, Miss Tyler, take it easy. You're all right now. Come on, sit down. Tell me what happened.
I don't know for sure. I was worried about Beth. I came back and didn't see her anywhere. Then I heard a noise in here. It was dark. I came in and someone grabbed me.
A man?
Yes. I don't know who it was.
Mm-hmm.
I screamed. He knocked me down. Then locked the door. Got out through the window there. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Philip Marlowe, a private detective. Your sister hired me to investigate a guy. I was to meet her here after your number and find out about it. Any idea what's up?
No, I can't imagine. But gee, Beth has been terribly upset ever since last night.
Oh? What happened last night?
Well, for one thing, my purse was stolen.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see why that should upset her. Gee, there was nothing in it but $12 and my makeup stuff.
Where's Beth now, do you know?
No, I haven't seen her since she ran off the stage. I'm not even sure she came in here.
No, she was here, all right. She dropped one of her gloves. You're still wearing both of yours. Where do you girls live? Maybe she went home.
Well, Beth has a cottage out on Hazeltine. 4179.
You don't live together? How come?
Well, gee, Mr. Marlowe, just working with Beth is hard enough. She's so sarcastic.
Okay, I'll wear my thick skin. One more thing, Miss Tyler. Do you happen to know where Neil went?
Neil's gone?
Mm-hmm.
Gee, that's funny. He always stays till the place closes. Oh, he must be coming right back.
I'll take a look. Then I'm going out to see your sister. Sarcasm at all. I spent 10 minutes questioning the help on the whereabouts of the boss and got nothing but double talk for answers. So since I was still carrying Beth's glove around with me, I dropped it in my pocket and went outside to my car. I'd opened the door and slid far enough under the wheel so I couldn't back out before I realized that the dough-faced Flab was already there on the seat. His right hand wrapped around something blunt and menacing in his sloppy jacket pocket.
You better come on in.
What are you doing in my car, blubber boy?
Don't get sassy now, mister. And the name is Sippy.
That's no improvement, and that's no answer.
All right. I saw you inside making with the big talk, so I says to myself, he's an interested party. I should look him up. Maybe we can do business together. All right, stay over there.
What kind of business? I'm particular about the gutters I crawl in.
It has to do with the twins inside there. You can get in touch with me later for further details. I got an angle, mister. You'll see when I leave.
Yeah? When you tried to work that angle, you got to the wrong twin in the dressing room. Do you know that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Sippy, where can I reach you?
You'll find out if you really know what's up. Don't try to follow me, though. I'll be seeing you.
When Sippy slid out of the car and beat it, I made one move after him and then stopped cold. Because lying on the seat where he'd been sitting was a green leather handbag with the name Edie etched on it. I snapped it open. It had been stripped of everything but the scent of Amir and the smudged slip of paper that read, Number 9 Arrow Motel, Lancashire Boulevard. So that was Sippy's address, and he had the stolen purse. But the why of all the commotion over 12 missing bucks was still the number one question mark. And I figured the best place for an answer to it was at Beth Tyler's. So I drove out to Hazeltine. But even before I stopped at number 4179, I heard the piano. I walked to the door and stood there a moment listening. I eased it open, slipped inside. Soft, indirect lighting accented the figure of the girl at the piano. The little waves of iridescent crimson chased themselves over the smooth satin gown as she played. Glossy blue-black hair fell to her shoulders. Beside her, a burning cigarette sent a single plume of smoke into the still air. Just for a moment, I found it difficult to remember that she was my client.
Oh?
You're looking better, Beth.
You're Philip Marlowe, I suppose.
Yeah. I dropped by to return your glove, among other things.
Just put it there on the table. With the other one. Where did you get it, Marlowe?
In your dressing room at the club. Your sister tangled with an unidentified man who was hiding there after you left. While we were on that, why'd you shove off so fast?
I was scared.
How'd you know I'd find you?
You're a detective. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Look, if you want to burn up your retainer playing hide and seek, it's your business. Now, who's the guy you want me to check on? The flabby one who made you blow up tonight?
Yeah, that's right.
Why?
Because I think my sweet twin sister is mixed up in something a little more serious than her usual scatterbrain escapades.
And the flabby guy is in on it because he has a green purse, right?
How did you know that?
He left it with me. Name is Sippy. He lives at the Arrow Motel, number 9. Knows something worthwhile about this business, and he's anxious to sell it. All of which puts him a hop, skip, and a jump ahead of your detective. Now tell me, why is everybody, including Neil Redmond, all wound up over one stolen purse? What's it all about, baby?
I don't know, baby. Suppose you find out and tell me.
Wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that Neil loves your sister and you love Neil, would it?
Marlowe, I hired you to investigate a man, not to pry into my personal affairs.
You'll get more for your money if you stop holding out on me.
It's my money. Besides, I'm not holding out. Believe me.
I'll try. Real hard. Well, as soon as I've got something, I'll call you.
Where are you going now? My retainer entitles me to know, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. First to the club to find Redmond and get his side of it, and then I'll probably drop in on our chum, Sippy, at the Arrow Motel on Lancashire.
Good. I'll, keep a light in the window for you.
Oh, sweet. Also keep your door locked. From the inside, baby. As I drove down the dark, winding street toward Ventura Boulevard, I caught a flash in the rearview mirror of a station wagon behind me. It looked like a tail, so I opened up. But it stayed with me. When it swung out into the left lane to pass, it suddenly cut in front of me. I jammed on the brakes as a spotlight slashed at my eyes, and when my front wheel banged against the curb, I was already half out of the car.
Stop right where you are, fella. Don't come 1 inch closer, I'll drop you.
He switched off the spotlight, and I saw a face the texture of a doormat over an embroidered purple shirt and orange tie. He had hand-tooled, high-heeled boots on and was topped off by a 10-quart cream-colored Stetson. But the doormat face was grim, and the silver-barreled Colt pistol in his hand looked right at home.
I followed you up here from the Saddle Club. I don't know what your game is or why you're messing around and what don't concern you, but I aim to find out mighty quick, so start talking.
Okay, first I resent being crowded off the road. Second, I resent a spotlight in my face. And third, I don't like pistols pointed at my stomach. So cool off, Jesse James. You're wasting your time and mine.
You got it wrong there, friend. Paul Cedar don't waste his time, and you're going to find that out.
Paul Cedar, huh?
Yeah.
Don't tell me you're all excited over a stolen purse with $12 in it.
$12?
Yeah.
Listen, clown, there's 30 grand missing somewhere between Redmond and me, and I'm going to get it.
30,000?
Yeah. Redmond's a high roller, and that's okay with me. But he lost it fair and square in my joint over in Nevada, and I've been holding his markers much too long. So if I have to chalk that dough off to experience, it's going to be a pretty unpleasant experience for a certain party. Get me?
Yeah, I get you. But you're shoving the wrong way, Longhorn.
Somebody's trying to make a fool out of me, bright boy, and I don't stand for that. I'm liable to shove a lot of ways, and hard. So don't get underfoot. You're sure to get stepped on. So long, dude.
In just a moment, we'll return to the second act of The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. But first, tomorrow marks the anniversary of an important event in American history, the signing of the first peace treaty between the Indians and the Plymouth colonists. In commemoration of these events, CBS's Sunday night stars, Amos and Andy, will be found with a kingfish burying the hatchet deeper than ever in their hopes and dreams. And CBS's own Jack Benny will be back again tomorrow with his special guest, Van Johnson. Invite some friends over. Sit back and enjoy the Jack Benny program. You can hear Amos and Andy every Sunday on most of these same CBS network stations, and Jack Benny over them all. Now, with our star, Gerald Moore, we return to the second act of Philip Marlowe and tonight's story, The Dancing Hands.
When the Texan from Nevada galloped off in his trusty station wagon, I forgot all about Neil Redmond and headed instead for Sippy and his further details at the Arrow Motel on Lancashire, where Bungalow 9 turned out to be an all-alone green and white collection of clapboard that showed light, a half-open door, and nobody home to my knock. When I tried knuckles on wood again and still got only a faint echo for reply, I stepped inside. There in the center of an ivory-white throw rug and clamoring for attention like an only child at a family reunion was a wide and wet circle of red. From there, the ugly splotches that narrowed as they got farther away trailed off until, finally, in the next room, the path ended where I expected it to. The quiet form of Skippy, sprawled over an upset chair and holding his hands tight against the red on his left side. When I got to him, he was going fast.
30 grand. A lot of dough. Didn't know I was shooting that high, and the twins.
One what, Sippy?
One of them.
Did one of them do this?
He's dead, isn't he, Marlowe?
Yeah. Yeah, Redmond, he's very dead.
Oh, no, Marlowe. I only found him a few seconds before you did.
Yeah, and the rest of that runs, you heard someone coming, you didn't want to be seen, so you ducked back out of sight, huh? I don't buy it, Redmond, because for one thing, it's too pat. For another, how do you explain being here in the first place? Come on, fast.
Okay, I'm here because I'm in a nasty jam.
Like what?
Like $30,000 I've got to pay in the next hour to a guy named Paul Cedar who's running out of patience in a hurry, believe me.
About that, I do. I've already met the gentleman. But right now, Redmond, we're talking about Sippy.
Okay. Last night I had things to do, so I gave Edie Tyler the money for the payoff to Cedar. A couple of minutes after she stepped out of the club, somebody roughed her up and got away with her purse and the 30 grand.
You're a liar, Redmond. Edie herself told me that purse only had $12 in it. How come?
Simple like, Marlowe. In my business, you never yell copper too soon or too loud. It doesn't pay.
Mm-hmm. Now, look, for the third time, Redmond, you and Sippy, how do you figure?
I don't know. He was at the club tonight, acting funny. When he left, I got a glimpse of Edie's green purse sticking out of his topcoat pocket. Later on, I saw him run away from a car near the club, so I followed. I ended up here a couple of minutes behind him, and that, Marlowe, is the truth, I swear.
Which you do at the drop of a... Hey, wait a minute. Look, if you're telling the truth, I begin to get a different picture. And by that, I specifically mean a very talented but very sly dame named Beth Tyler.
Oh, no, Marlowe.
Why not? Because you love Beth's sister? Face it, Redmond, it doesn't add up any other way. Sippy here couldn't have stolen that purse from Edie. If he did, he'd have taken his dough and blow and not spent his time putting out feelers. But on the other hand, if Sippy happened to see Beth take it from Edie, empty it and toss it away, we've got another story, right?
Ah. Because he wouldn't make a move until he knew how much she had gotten away with.
Exactly. But there he ran into trouble because he was trying to get close to Beth, and in doing that, he got mixed up and went for Edie instead, like tonight at the club.
Sure. And a dying man's words just now about one twin.
To which you can add the unpleasant fact that I personally ran off at the mouth when I was up at Beth's an hour ago. So she knew where to come for Sippy. Look, Redmond, it's got to run that way. I'm sure of it.
Well, maybe you're right, Phil, but right or wrong, I'm still in a jam. So if you don't have any objections, I'm going back to my club now for a last try at raising that money again before Cedar shows.
You mean you're going to face him, Neil, with or without her?
I've got him, Marlowe. You see, I own a fast club, all right, and I gamble a lot, too. But I don't welch on my markers, no more than I knock over flabby little guys. You know what I mean, Phil?
I think so. But don't fold now, Neil, because I might still be lucky enough to catch up to Beth Tyler and your money both before your time runs out. And right now that means fast to a phone and a call to Edie, who might know which way a runaway twin would head. I'll see you, Neil. The nearest phone was at an all-night mobile gas station a block away. As I dialed Edie's number, a thought hit me. Maybe Beth wouldn't head anywhere. Maybe she'd just stick around.
Hello?
Edie, this is Marlowe. Seen anything of Beth?
No, I haven't. But why? What is it, Marlowe?
Well, from where I stand, two things. First, your sister has the $30,000 and $12 that was in your purse last night.
Oh?
And second, she's just about it for a sloppy around-the-edges murder.
Oh.
Now, look, have you any idea where Beth would head if she had to get out of town in a hurry?
No, I don't, Marlowe.
Oh, well, maybe somebody up around her place does. I'll call you later.
Marlowe, wait. Are you sold on this? I mean, about the things you said Beth did?
Just about, Edie. But for your sake, let's hope I'm wrong. All the way, honey. Goodbye. Driving fast back toward Beth's place on Hazeltine still left me enough time to think about a not-too-small detail that I'd completely overlooked. Thanks to me, the entire Los Angeles Police Department knew nothing about what was going on in and around the Saddle Club. 5 minutes later, when I'd parked away from the dark and obviously deserted number 4179, I'd walked back and around to a pair of uncurtained French doors at the side. I knew that oversight is what is generally called a blunder. But the next second, I knew it was nothing compared to the one I was making currently.
If you so much as turn your head again, Marlowe, I'll kill you.
Not like you did Sippy, please, Beth. I'd hate to go that way.
Sippy was a mistake, Marlowe, believe me. I was rushed.
So you shot and ran, huh?
Yes. But I didn't run too far, because from where I stood, I could hear and see both you and Redmond and talking the whole thing over.
And when you knew that we'd caught on to your act, you decided to follow me and see where I was going before you made your next move. Is that it?
Exactly. Now get inside. Go on, the door's unlocked. All right. Now get over there, near that closet, and don't turn around.
Why not? Afraid of the look on my face when you shoot?
Shut up, Marlowe. And stop being brave. Because unless I have to, I'm not going to kill you. After all, you've already served your purpose.
Which I presume was getting mixed up in this mess just long enough to find out about Sippy for you.
You presume correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you talk too much. Now open that closet and get inside.
All right.
Go on.
As you say. But first, baby, one question. Did you do all this for the 30 grand alone? Or does it tie in with Neil Redmond and the way he feels about your sister Edie?
It's a little bit of each, Marlowe. But as I said, you talk too much. So get in there and shut up.
Getting out of Beth Taylor's half-inch thick oak closet was like arguing with an umpire. You couldn't be subtle. So 20 tiring minutes went by and the heels on both my feet were numb before the paneling finally gave in and I was out and over to the telephone to put in a call to the police. It should have been made a long time ago. But then, even as I was halfway through dialing the numbers, I saw something on an end table nearby that made me slowly change my mind. It was the 2 black gloves that Beth wore in the Dancing Hands act. And while I stared at them like they were alive and beckoning, I thought hard for what must have been a full minute. And then suddenly I knew that my next stop had to be the Saddle Club. As I parked at the Saddle Club, I saw light drifting out of Neil's office, which was something I had expected. Inside, I moved along a dark hall toward what I knew would be the trio of Neil Redmond, the Nevada Texan, and Eddie Tyler.
All right, Redmond.
The raucous voice of Paul Cedar was anything but happy.
How stupid you think I am? Oh, that's Cedar, I'm telling the truth. Edie had the 30 grand, but somebody got it from her when she was on her way to you. That's a stinking lie, and you know it, Redmond. You never had the money. This whole thing's been a frame to stall me. And one way or another, I'm going to get you to admit that.
No, you're not, Cedar. And if you don't drop that gun now, you're never going to do anything ever. Come on, let it go. All right. Now sit down and shut up and listen hard because Redmond's telling you the truth.
What?
Marlowe, you know where the money is?
That's right. And I also know who took it. Less than an hour ago, a little after I called you, Edie, Beth caught up to me and confessed the whole shebang, exactly as we figured it, Neil.
You mean she admitted getting the money from Edie and using you to locate Sippy?
That's right. But there's only one drawback to everything she admitted. None of it's true.
What do you mean, Marlowe?
I mean, Cedar, that Beth Tyler didn't steal your money from Edie here any more than she killed Sippy. I also mean that as far as I can tell, Beth Tyler was nothing more than a girl who played the piano and got upset when a stranger named Sippy started to bother her. And I never saw the real Beth Tyler after she ran away from a piano in the club tonight. That she's dead and that you, Edie, have been posing as Beth all night because, 1, you yourself stole Neil's money, and 2, you murdered your sister as well.
No!
Yes, Edie, come on, admit it, it's true.
No, it isn't. I guess it is at that, Marlowe.
And Beth's body?
In our dressing room. In the closet. I didn't want to kill her. But she found out that I had only pretended to be robbed when there was no one around. And that Sippy had seen me scream and get rid of the purse myself.
Sippy, who was only trying to muscle in on a deal, went to her by mistake, huh?
Yes. That's how she knew what I'd done. When she confronted me in the dressing room just before you came in and said that she wouldn't stand by and let me do a thing like that to Neil, I lost my temper.
You killed her, Edie.
Yes, I did, Neil. And when Marlowe showed up after her scream, I said that someone had attacked me. And then I pretended to be both Beth and myself from there on to get out of the whole thing. And I almost did. But now I'm so sorry. Oh, no.
A couple of bad hours went by before the police had everybody's story, and Paul Cedar and the 30,000 was gone from Nevada, and Edie was gone for good. That left just Neil Redmond and me alone and standing near the main bar in the club. Neil was doing his best to stay all in one piece.
Well, Marlowe, it's been a tough night for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, but a tougher one for you, Neil. What with Cedar and the money and...
The girls, Marlowe?
Yeah.
At least it came out right before the cowboy got too tough, thanks to you. So tell me, Phil, how'd you know that Beth was dead and that Edie was both people all along?
That was a couple of gloves, Neil, the ones they wore in that Dancing Hands act. You see, when I first met Edie in the dressing room, she was wearing hers, and one of Beth's was on the floor. Hey, pour me one, will you?
Yeah.
Okay. I took it, and later when I met what I thought was Beth, I returned it, and she put it with what we both thought was its mate.
Yeah.
Thanks. But a little while ago, when I got close to the gloves again, I saw that couldn't be, that they were both for the left hand, Neil.
Ah. Then when Edie went to Beth's place to pass herself off as her sister, who she had already killed, she was smart enough to know that she should have only one glove around.
Yeah, but not smart enough to think about which glove it should be. From there, I worked backwards.
Until you got to the three of us at the club and tried what you knew might be the right answer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you were right, Phil, all the way.
Yeah, but I was still gambling. If I had been wrong, Neil, I was giving the real Beth a long head start.
It's always that way when you gamble, Phil. I know. Sometimes you pick right, sometimes wrong. Cards, dice. Even with twins. Good night, fella.
When I finally got to my car, started out of the valley and back toward Hollywood, it was better than 8 o'clock in the morning. And here and there as I drove, I saw people who I'd never heard of and who'd never heard of me, stumbling outside after their morning papers. And I got to wondering what they were going to think when they read about a girl who had killed both her twin sister in a nightclub and a flabby guy in a motel who wasn't much good. Oh, well, it was hard to say. And for myself, I was too tired to think. Or maybe I just didn't want to.
The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, created by Raymond Chandler, star Gerald Moore, and are produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Script is by Mel Donnelly, Robert Mitchell, and Gene Levitt. Featured in the cast were Vivi Janis, Lou Krugman, Ed Begley, Paul Frees, and Bert Holland. The special music is by Richard O'Runt. Be sure and be with us again next week when Philip Marlowe says...
When it started, it was simple. Just a lawsuit for damages. But before it was over, it was far from simple, and the damages were murder. All because of a red-headed woman, a ghostwriter with ambition and a match that burned with a bright green flame.
With part of its star-studded Sunday nights devoted to shows named after great personalities such as Jack Benny, Lum and Abner, and Amos and Andy, CBS also goes to famous fiction for one of the brightest, most dramatic of its Sunday galaxy, The Adventures of Sam Spade. Created by the master hand of Dashiell Hammett, Sam Spade cuts a new and deadly caper with mystery, murder, and adventure on most of these same CBS network stations every Sunday. Join him tomorrow night. This is Roy Rowan speaking. Now, stay tuned for Gangbusters, which follows immediately over most of these same CBS stations. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
In many foreign lands, wherever wine connoisseurs gather, they enthusiastically praise the distinguished character of Roma wines. Such praise of Roma wines in foreign lands can only mean that they are truly magnificent in quality. Roma wine's excellence is due to a unique combination of California's perfect soil and climate, from whence come the choice Roma wine grapes, plus age-old winemaking skill and modern knowledge. These combine to make Roma constant in quality, uniformly fine, unexcelled in value. Tomorrow, discover for yourself the delightful Roma taste and goodness enjoyed by more Americans than any other wine. Simply serve as an appetizer before dinner a cool glass of golden nut-like Roma California sherry. Then on the table, place a bottle of cool, hearty Roma Burgundy. You'll be pleasantly surprised at the extra delight it adds to your meal, how it will win new compliments from family or guests. Yet, the cost is only pennies a glassful. Get Roma wines tomorrow. If your dealer is temporarily out of Roma, please try again soon. Ask for ROMA, Roma wines. Remember, more Americans enjoy Roma
than any other wine.
Thanks for listening to HOJO Radio. We'll be back again very soon.